चालू चालू चालू
Okay, so I hope that I am audible.
Yes, sir, you are watching.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sorry for the technical glitch. Let us now begin with our program formally. So, a very good afternoon to all the teaching faculty members and students of schools and colleges in and around Nagpur. I am Dr. Devrat Begre, and on behalf of Dr. Ambedkar College, Dikshabhumi, Nagpur, I welcome you all for this Impact Lecture Series, Session 2.
You are not audible.
Yes. So this is a part of the capacity building program, which has been jointly organized by Institutional Innovation Council and the Technology Incubation Center of our college and IIC Ministry of Education, Government of India. Today we bring in to you the second edition of this lecture series. As our tradition goes, we would be marking the beginning of this program by seeking the blessings from the two pillars of humanity, Lord Tathagat Gautam Buddha and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, based on whose teachings the very foundation of our college resides. So to begin with, I would request our principal madam, Professor Dr. P.A. Mehere, to give her welcome address.
Thank you,
Madam,
David.
over to you.
Very good afternoon to one and all. At the outset, I, Dr. B.A. Mehere, Principal of Dr. Ambedkar College, welcomes you all for today's second lecture series for Institutional Innovation Council of Dr. Ambedkar College, which is sponsored by Ministry of Education, Government of India. This is the second series session of Impact Lecture. I welcome today's guest, Priti Chattani Madam. She is CEO and founder, Sri Datta Law Consultation, and will speak on IPR and innovation. So, Priti Madam, welcome. I also welcome another guest speaker, Mithilesh Wazalwar. He is the CEO and founder, Corridor 7 Coffee Roasters, and will highlight on innovation in business for brand building. So, I once again welcome you all for the second session of Impact Lecture Series. And I welcome the coordinator of the program, Dr. Devrat Begre, all my worthy colleagues for today's session. And this lecture series, I know that we did the session 1, and I am very much proud to announce this today that Dr. Ambedkar College, Nagpur is the only non-technical higher education institute in central India to receive this honor of organizing such impact lecture series, which is sponsored by Ministry of Education, Government of India. We are also in a forefront to mentor some highly renowned schools in our local vicinity to take up this initiative of nurturing students' ideas so as to create an innovation and startup ecosystem and environment. So today I welcome you all the staff members for these programs and the school children. So thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for those inspiring words. So let me now give you a quick overview of today's session. The concept of this Impact Lecture Series is to channelize the thought that self-employment opportunities can be created anytime, provided you have a scalable idea, which is perfect market fit. This is the very intention behind holding this lecture series, wherein we are inviting external experts who are successful innovators, patent experts, entrepreneurs from innovation and startup ecosystem at state and regional or national level. Their experience and life journeys could be taken as the source of inspiration and learning by all the budding innovators and entrepreneurs. Today, we have with us two such eminent speakers from the fields of intellectual property and self-made entrepreneur. I would now request Ms. Harsha Patre Madam to formally introduce to us with our first speaker, Ms. Priti Chattani Madam.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I, Anusha Patre, Assistant Professor from Department of Law, Dr. Ambedkar College, Nagpur, take immense pleasure to introduce the guest speaker of today's session, Ms. Preeti Chotani. Ms. Preeti Chotani is the founder and CEO of Sri Datta Law Consultancy, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. She is also the president of Gujarat State IP Council, Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. She is also a registered Indian patent agent and a patent facilitator under DPIIT Government of India. Ms. Chotani is a startup mentor under Startup India Government of India. She is also appointed in the institution's Innovation Council as an expert and has mentored Local Startups Meet 2021 at IIT Kharagpur, the Incube Incubation Program for Cohort 2022 Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh. She is also an external faculty as well as an examiner for paper designing at Gujarat Technological University, Ahmedabad. She has been selected for Young Entrepreneur Award for Indian Achievers Award 2021-22 and has also been shortlisted by Women Entrepreneur magazine for top 10 best women in IP copyright and trademark in India 2022. She has also received International Research Award 2019 by Sri Lohana Mahaparishad and also GIC I2I Award by Gujarat Technical University, Ahmedabad. Ms. Chotani has delivered expert talks on various topics like mind-to-mind, basics of IPR, patent drafting, sensitization on IPR, innovate to impact are just to name few of them. Ma'am has immense contribution in intellectual property services, and it is worth to mention that she has filed more than 80 patents, 15 designs, and good number of copyright and trademark applications. We are pleased to have you, ma'am. Without any further ado, I now request you to commence your session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. First of all, good afternoon to one and all, and thank you so much, the Bhumi Mere ma'am, Dr. Devatrat ma'am, and the Anusa ma'am for providing me this opportunity to deliver this talk to the very enthusiastic young innovators of the Dr. Ambedkar College and the school. So without wasting a time, I'm starting with the session. Just a minute, I'm sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, madam, it is.
Yeah. So as ma'am has told that today's topic is related to the IP and the innovation. So, and in that we will learn about the basics about the intellectual property rights and how we'll do the different intellectual property rights search. So IP means intellectual property, and in the innovation, if you have come up with any of the innovation or any of the creativity, and from that you can get revenue or the money out of that, so that is more or less related to the intellectual property and the intellectual property rights. So it's just the formal disclaimer that this presentation is just for education purpose only. We are not infringing anybody's intellectual property. Then this is the flow of presentation, basics about the intellectual property and the property rights, types of the IPRs, means intellectual property rights, and that more details about the 4 main IPR types of the IPR, that is copyright, trademark, industrial designs, and the patent. And after that, we will learn how we can search about the different types of the IPRs. And in the last, there is the question and answer. What is the intellectual property? If we are dividing these two words, it's
Madam,
intellectual
sorry to
and
interrupt
property,
you.
right? So property, yes.
But it is showing that your network bandwidth is a bit low. So if you can turn off your video, then perhaps it would be good.
Yeah, sure.
Because otherwise your voice is breaking.
Okay. So now voice is okay?
Yes, this is fine now.
Okay. So as we are separating these two words, intellectual property, so it's intellectual and the property, right? So property, once this word is come in our mind, so it shows that property means some kind of the things which is means our own things, which we can say as a property. So now intellectual property. So intellectual means it comes from our mind or intellect. So the property which is comes from our mind, and from that we can generate some revenue or some money, or we can come into the market by the way of that type of the property. So that is the intellectual property. So by this way we can by innovate to impact, intellectual property is needed. From mind to market, intellectual property is needed, and from research to generate the revenue, intellectual property having a very. So generally the two types of the properties are there. One is the tangible property, another is the intangible property. Now tangible property means that is in the physical form, which you can touch or feel, like a jewelry, land, automobile, any of the furniture which you all have, right? So if you are touching those things which is the property of yours, so those all the type of the categories are comes under the tangible property. While in the intangible property means the creation of the mind, you cannot touch or feel those type of the property, but they comes from your mind. And example of that intangible properties are ideas and the creations. So this type of the intangible properties which are come from our mind, and they are the creations of the human intellect or the human mind, those all the type of the properties are known as intellectual property. Is this clear about the IP?
Yes, ma'am. It's clear. One more request, madam, just the last one.
Yes.
In case it is possible for you, you can mix Hindi and English, because we have wide audience coming from schools as well. So it would be better to reach out to everyone then.
Okay, sure. सो जनरली इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी क्या है, जो मैं थोड़ा ब्रीफ कर देती हूँ हिंदी में भी. तो जो हमारे दिमाग से कोई भी आइडिया आता है, या तो कोई क्रिएटिविटी है, या तो किसी ने कुछ पोएम लिखा, या कुछ बुक लिखी, या तो कुछ आर्टिस्टिक वर्क किया, कुछ नया पेंटिंग किया, या नया कुछ बनाया जिसमें डिजाइन न्यू है. तो वो सारी जो भी थिंग्स है जो हमारे माइंड से आता है, वो सारे इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी बोला जाता है. और अगर वो इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी को हम अच्छी तरीके से प्रोटेक्ट करें, तो उसमें से हम रेवेन्यू या तो मनी जनरेट कर सकते हैं. जैसे हमारी लैंड रहती है, ज्वेलरी है, तो वो सभी हम क्या करते हैं, वी आर स्पेंडिंग मनी, और आफ्टर दैट वो जो प्रॉपर्टी वो हमारे नाम पे होता है. उसके बाद ही आप बोल सकते हो कि ये घर मेरा है, ये ज्वेलरी मेरी है, राइट. सो इसके लिए भी अगर आप इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी में भी अगर आप कुछ भी मतलब एक बार उसके राइट्स ले लो, लीगल पेपर पे आ जाए, उसके बाद आप उसका यूज कर सकते हैं रेवेन्यू जनरेशन में. So now coming to the intellectual property rights. Now the concept of intellectual property is clear to all, right? So now how we can protect this intellectual property, हम कैसे ये intellectual property को protect कर सकते हैं, और कैसे उसमें से money generate या तो revenue generate कर सकते हैं. So intellectual property rights provide हमारे intellectual property the person or the creation of their mind, and they are the exclusive right given for the certain specific period of time. So जो land रहेगा हमारे पास, हमारा जो घर है वो टाइम तक हमारे साथ रहे, लेकिन जो property rights दी जाते हैं, that is given for the specific period of time. Since like patent is a different time period, for the trademark is a different time period, and it's given to the person over the creation of the mind. And these rights are the exclusive rights, means you can stop others from using those rights. आपके पास एक कोई प्रोडक्ट है जिसके लिए आपने पेटेंट या डिजाइन किया है, ना आपके पास वो राइट्स आ गए, अभी आपका एक्सक्लूसिव राइट्स है, ये जो आईपीआर है वो, मतलब वो स्टॉप करेंगे अदर को. मतलब ए पर्सन है जिसके पास ये राइट्स है, तो ये ए पर्सन स्टॉप करेगा अदर्स बी टू जेड लोगों को कि आप ये राइट, ये आपकी प्रोडक्ट नहीं सकते, ना तो मैन्युफैक्चर कर सकते, ना तो उसको सेल कर सकते, ना यूज कर सकते हैं. तो ये टाइप जो राइट है वो ऐसे है कि जो उसको को स्टॉप करते हैं बाय यूजिंग योर प्रोडक्ट. So in general terminology we can say, so IP is in the secured by way of the intellectual property. अगर आप कोई और लिखी, लेकिन आप उसके लिए कॉपीराइट या तो कोई भी IP प्रोटेक्शन नहीं ले रहे, कोई भी पर्सन उस सॉन्ग्स का वो पोएम का करेगा और टेक एनी लीगल एक्शन towards that person, right? So if you want to secure your IP, your thoughts, your creativity, so that can be secured here only. So these are the different types of the IPR. Total 8 types are there. one is the most widely used are the first 4 IPRs: patents, designs, trademark, and the copyright. And other than that, the trade secrets, geographical indications, semiconductor integrated layout, and the breeder. So these 4 patents, industrial designs, copyright, and trademark that we will learn in detail on upcoming slides. Now, what is the trademark? So trade secret. So trade secret is Coca-Cola. So no one knows about the formulation and the process how this Coca-Cola will be made. So that is not known, and so they are keeping those things as a secret, and the trade secret. Geographic indication means it's related to particular geography of the region, like the famous for
Yes, madam. Perhaps there is some problem of network on your side. You actually dropped out.
Okay, okay. Just a minute, I will change my network.
Yeah.
The screen is visible, sir?
No, madam, it is yet to come.
Okay, okay. Once come, please let me know.
You can try to share your screen again because it's not coming up.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Now it
there.
is there?
Yes.
Okay, okay. And from where that my network was gone, the types of IPR is already
Yes, you were
there?
at the types of IPR, right?
Okay, okay. So in the types of IPR, total 8 types are there. From that, the first 4 are most widely used IPRs. Then this that we will learn in detail in the upcoming slides. Now the trade secret that is related, the base example for the trade secret is the Coca-Cola. So जो भी Coca-Cola में क्या क्या यूज होता है, कौन सी प्रोसेस से वो लोग बनाते हैं, वो कहीं पे भी नोन नहीं है. उन लोगों ने वो थिंग्स जो है वो प्रोटेक्ट किए हैं ट्रेड सीक्रेट से. सो जो एक पूरी प्रोसेस रहता है ट्रेड सीक्रेट का, कि एक बैंक रहता है अलग अलग कंट्रीज में, वहां पे जो भी कंपनी है कोकोकोला की, only 1 or 2% will know about these secrets, right? So this Coca-Cola's formulation as well as the process for the preparation is protected by the way of the trade secrets. Then the geographical indications. So as name suggests, it's geographical, means related to the some region specific rights are there. So all we know that the Kesar mango is famous from the Gir region. Then the tea of the Darjeeling is famous for the Darjeeling. Tea is famous for the Darjeeling region. And in the Nagpur, the oranges are famous from the Nagpur, right? So that particular region will be there. In that particular climate condition will be there, and based on that, that particular best quality product will obtain. So for that, that geographical indication is applied. Then the semiconductor integrated circuit layout design. So more the circuits or the chips which are having a different type of the designs which is all not known, that can be protected by way of the semiconductor integrated circuit layout designs. Then plant varieties and the breeders' rights. So if someone is come up with any new plant varieties, or they are merging 2 plants and come up with a new type of the varieties, so all those things can be protected by the way of the plant varieties. Is this clear? This is the basic about the different types of the IPR.
Yes, madam.
Okay. So this is just a pictorial presentation for these main 4 types of the IPR: patent, designs, copyright, and the trademark. So patent, that is mainly related to the scientific inventions or the invention which resolves the problem of the society. So that can be protected by the way of the patent. Either it's a process or product or any other things which are new, that is not known. Then the designs means the article is already there or some product is already there, but you are come up with some new design of that. So that can be protected by way of the designs or the industrial design. Then the copyright, any literary work, any poem, any book chapter or the book, any songs, then any dramatical performance will be there, and visual performance, artistic work, that all things can be protected by the way of the copyright. And the logo, word, sign are protected by the way of the trademark. So in general बोलने जाए, अभी आप कहीं मतलब मॉर्निंग से जब से आप उठते हो तब से मॉर्निंग टू नाइट आप कहीं पे भी देखोगे आपके सराउंडिंग आईपी आपको दिखेगा। आप कोई भी प्रोडक्ट ले रहे हो, कोई कोल्ड ड्रिंक्स है, तो उस पे आप देखोगे तो दे आर राइटिंग आर और टीएम, मींस दे आर रिप्रेजेंटिंग द ट्रेडमार्क। सो जो भी ब्रांड वैल्यू है को हम बोलते हैं कि ये ब्रांडेड है, राइट, ये ब्रांडेड क्लोथ्स है, ये ब्रांडेड फुटवेयर्स है, ये ब्रांडेड फूड है। सो वो ब्रांड कहाँ से आता है? वो आता है ट्रेडमार्क से, कि वो जो पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट है उसको पर्टिकुलर नेम से ट्रेडमार्क अप्लाई किया हुआ है और बेस्ड ऑन दैट ब्रांड वैल्यू इज जनरेटेड। सिमिलरली डिजाइन है कि अगर कोई पहले जो पेन आता था वो सिंपल सा पेन आता था, वो 2 रुपीज वाला जो पेन आता है, दैट इज सिंपल वन, राइट। नाउ दिस इज अ वेरी having a different design, having this button, having this rings. Sorry, my video is off. So this is the pen, right? So if you can see, there is a multiple pen, different types of the pens are available. So now in this pen, you having this touch button, you having these rings over the below portion. The color is the different one than the other available pens. So if the pen is the same, they use for the writing purpose only. But if you have come up with some new design of that, so that can be protected by the way of the design. Then the copyrights that as I have said, that some of the poems and musical or the movies, then any of the songs, the lyrics of the songs, that all can be protected by the way of the copyrights. And the websites, those are also can be protected by the way of the copyrights and the patents. So if any new product is there that is comes in the first time, and that can be protected by the way of the patents. We will learn more about these patent related things. Then starting with the copyright, right? So it is all the IPR are the exclusive rights. So the copyright is also exclusive right given by a law for a certain term of the years to the author or the composer or his assignee to print, publish and sell the copy of his original work. And that is given the term, as I have मैंने पहले बोला था ना, that all the IPR are given for the certain specific period of time. तो copyright जो है वो 60 years तक रहेगा after the death of the author. तो suppose आज की कोई भी पर्सन ने अप्लाई किया है कॉपीराइट के लिए, तो जब तक वो लाइव है तब तक तो रहेगा, उसके बाद भी 60 इयर्स उसके राइट्स रहेंगे दैट ओरिजिनल वर्क के। ना उसमें क्या क्या प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हैं? लिटरली और ड्रामेटिक वर्क, म्यूजिकल वर्क, आर्टिस्टिक वर्क, सिनेमेटोग्राफिक फिल्म्स, कंप्यूटर जनरेटेड एनी वर्क, कोई एप्लीकेशंस है, कोई वेबसाइट्स है, सो ऑल दोस थिंग्स कैन बी प्रोटेक्टेड बाय द वे ऑफ द कॉपीराइट्स. So these are the few examples are there. These are the pictorial representation in that. This any of the musical instrument we have shown, so any of the music that can be protected by the copyright, any of the photograph or any new things, the movies are there that can be protected by way of the copyright, any books, poems that can be protected by the way of the copyright. Then this is the one photo of that website in that they have written that copyright under this 2020, so that website can be protected by way of that. Then the Twitter's things that also protected. So literally musical, artistic, any of the recording and the dramatic, all the things can be protected by the way of the copyright. Is this clear about the copyright?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Now coming to the branding or the trademark. Now, the trademark is the sign of distinguishing the goods and services produced or the sold by one enterprise from the another enterprise. So, वो क्या है? It's like a brand name or it's like a visiting card which promotes the image of the company and its the goods and the services, right? So, देखने जाए तो कोई multiple cold drinks are available है, multiple footwears are available, multiple clothes are available. Now, why we are picking some branded clothes only? Why we are picking only branded footwears and we are consuming the branded foods and the beverages, right? So, उसमें क्या है कि they have applied for the trademark and they have created the brand. So, वो brand से पता चलता है कि इसकी quality कैसी होगी, right? So, for that, this type of the trademark IPR registration will be there. So, the brand name is known as it is one kind of the visiting card. To promote the image of the company as well as their goods and the services. Now, this trademark is given for the 10 years. First, that is given for the 10 years and that can be renewable for the another 10 years. And that is, you can renew those things by the unlimited period of time. Now, trademark having also different types of the trademarks are there. One is the trademark, then says service mark, collective marks, certification marks. So in the trademark means they are distinguishing the goods. कोई भी प्रोडक्ट है उसको अगर आपको डिस्टिंग्विश करना है और उसके लिए उसका लोगो का या नेम का कुछ आपको प्रोटेक्ट करना है, so you can protect by the way of the trademark. Then service marks means is distinguishing the services. Like my own law firm is it's related to the law consultancy, means is giving the service related to the IPR. So for that I have to apply into the service marks. Then the collective marks means these are related to the both product means the trademark as well as the service marks, and the certification marks. In that the different type of the certifications are there, ISO, ISI certification that can be protected by the way of the certification marks. Now whenever you are taking up कोई भी product आप हाथ में ले रहे हो तो first check जो branded product है कि they have written about the TM or TR. So now what it represents the TM. So TM is representing the unregistered trademark, means that person or that company has applied for that but yet not registered. And the R is representing the registered trademark, means the company or the person has applied as well as they have registered their trademark. So अब जब भी आप कोई प्रोडक्ट देखते हो तो चेक करना कि उसमें TM है कि R है, मतलब उन्होंने ट्रेडमार्क के लिए अप्लाई किया हुआ है या तो रजिस्टर हो गई है. Then these are the अब कहीं मतलब mornings I have told ना, morning to night you will see multiple times of the IPR over there, and the multiple in everything which you having सब जगह पे IP है और उसमें mostly trademark is most widely used. So let's for example this is the McDonald's trademark. They have written the R means it's the registered trademark. Now in the Starbucks they have written the TM means they have applied for the trademark and that will be they are waiting for the registration of that. So word mark means what? It's this like a words. Then device mark means it's a logo. This is also a device mark. So कोई भी logo है, so that is known as a device mark. Or if you are writing some word over that, then it is known as a word mark. Then in the Nike, that is also a brand name or the trademark. They have applied for that and that is registered. Then Adidas, that is also registered. LG having a word mark as well as the device mark. Logo will be there. Nestle. Then Cadbury, Coca-Cola, Nestle, Apple, Samsung. This is the certification mark, ISI. Then this is the logo of the Apple. Then collective marks mean this is applied for some of the universities, Cambridge University. The collective means they are product as well as the services, both they are providing. Then the product and the service marks, PepsiCo will be there. So in the each and every types of the product, if they have applied for the trademark, and if they have creating the brand, then they are showing this different logo with the R or the TM mark. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am. Very clear.
Yes. So now, now you have to start if you have a come up with some your startup or your company. So there is a first step is that you have to register your company, and after that you have to apply for the trademark for your company name or the logo of your company, right? So before applying for that, first you have to search whether the similar name or the similar logo is already registered or not. If that is already registered, so the trademark registry will not give you that trademark registration, right? So कुछ भी आप जब अपनी कंपनी लेके आ रहे हो या आप अपना प्रोडक्ट लेके आ रहे हो तो उसके लिए अगर आपको ट्रेडमार्क अप्लाई करना है तो उससे पहले आपको सर्च करना पड़ेगा, दैट इज नॉन एज द ट्रेडमार्क सर्च, कि वो एग्जैक्टली वो नेम और द लोगो अवेलेबल है कि नहीं है। सो उसके लिए इंडियन पेटेंट डेटाबेस है जिसको बोलते हैं इंडियन इंडियन पेटेंट एडवांस सर्च सिस्टम। उस पे अगर आप सर्च करोगे तो ई गेटवेज इज देयर, इन दैट पब्लिक सर्च यू हैव टू सर्च ओवर देयर। सो अगर आप इसमें ई गेटवे में पब्लिक सर्च पे अप्लाई करेंगे, क्लिक करेंगे और उसमें ट्रेडमार्क पे क्लिक करेंगे तो इस टाइप का विंडो आपको दिखेगा। सो दिस इज यूज फॉर द ट्रेडमार्क सर्च। उसमें यहाँ वर्डमार्क के पास मीन्स इन द वर्डमार्क there is a 3 options are there. One is a start with, match with and the contains. means start with means आप कोई भी word डाल रहे हो तो वो word वहीं से start होगा तो वो result दिखाएगा। then contains means वो word कहीं पे भी होगा तो वो दिखाएगा। और थर्ड वन इज द मैच विथ, मीन्स एग्जैक्ट वर्ड अगर आपको मैच देख के करना है तो वो आप यहाँ पे जो भी आपका कीवर्ड है वो आप डाल सकते हो। सपोज पेप्सिको है तो आप पूरा वर्ड नहीं डालोगे, यू कैन ऐड द पेप्सी और द पेप, then you will get the results of the PepsiCo also, pep related that two wheeler also, you will get the results of the all the things in which the pep word will be there, right? So with that you have to write down the class number, because in the trademark, as I have told, there is a 2 separation is there. One is the product related things and another is the service related, so that both the things can be divided based on that category of the product, and that is known as the classification of that trademark. And first we have to select that class and we have to perform this search, and we have to know whether that particular name or the similar name is already registered or not. So ये जो classification that I will show you after completion of this presentation, कि कैसे कैसे वो प्रोडक्ट्स एंड सर्विसेज कैटेगराइज की गई है। Then coming to the industrial design. So in the industrial design, it is also an exclusive right which gives the rights for the features of the shape, configuration, pattern, or the ornament or the composition of the lines and the color or the combination thereof applied to any article, whether it's in the 2D or in the 3 dimensional or in the both the form. And that is that term of design is for the 10 years, and that can be again extended for the next 5 years. So total 15 years तक हमको डिजाइन के राइट्स मिलेंगे। वो न्यू होनी चाहिए, दैट डिजाइन मस्ट बी अ न्यू, ओरिजिनल एंड द इंडिविजुअल कैरेक्टर। सो दिस आर ऑल दैट मे बी एप्लीकेबल फॉर द वॉलपेपर्स, टेक्सटाइल, एनी फर्नीचर, टॉयज, कार्स, फोन्स, कहीं पे भी इफ यू आर कम अप विद any new design, you can protect those design by the way of the industrial designs. So these are a few examples are there. You can see this is the stool that having a different structure compared to the जो हमारे घर में रहता है उससे ये थोड़ा different है. Then the lamp, then this bulb, then this is the different type of the spoon, then chair, kitli, then this bicycles, packs. This is also another type of the chair. This both having a different structure. So you can apply for the industrial design for this different structure of the chairs. Then the hair dryers. So any of the product in which if you are change something in their design and their look, then you can apply for the industrial design. Is this clear?
Yes, madam.
Then for the design search also, if you are come up with some new designs, for that also you have to perform the design search, whether that same design is already registered or not. So in that also you have to select this e-gateway of the impasse, then in the public search, and in the public search you have to select the design. So once you select the design search, then you will get this type of the window. From that you can select any of the options, like if you have already you have an application number, date of filing of any particular design of your competitor's design, then you can use this type of things. If you already known that कि आपकी जो design है और आपकी जो product है उसके लिए ये competitors already है market में, और उनके लिए आपको search करना है कि उन्होंने same product के लिए design apply किया है कि नहीं किया है, then you can apply, you can search in the by the category of the applicant name. और अगर आपके पास कोई भी डिटेल नहीं है, you have just the new design or the name of that product or the name of that design, so you can use this name of article over there. So here is equal to or the similar kind of these things, means it contains. So exact word if you want to search, then equal to is there, and another point is that if contains will be there, means the similar word or that word is anywhere in that title. So for that you can select this, and if you don't have any details, then you can use this name of article and add the words over here, and by adding the captcha code you can search the things. In that you will obtain the different designs of that particular product, and based on that, if you are not designed और आप जस्ट आपके थॉट में है कि मुझे ये प्रोडक्ट के लिए ये डिजाइन करना है, तो आप पहले डिजाइन सर्च कर लो, देख लो कि इसके लिए एग्जैक्ट ऐसा कुछ है कि नहीं है. अगर नहीं है और तो कोई है नहीं इश्यू, आप अपनी डिजाइन कर सकते हो. और अगर कोई है डिजाइन सिमिलर, सो आप उसको अपने एंड से मॉडिफाइड कर सकते हो, तो फिर आप डिजाइन के लिए जा सकते हैं. सो डिजाइन सर्च का ये दोनों साइड से बेनिफिट्स रहते हैं. देन नाउ कमिंग टू द पेटेंट्स. So the patents are an exclusive right given by the government to the inventors, means जो researchers है उसको, which exclude others from making, selling, using, importing and offering for sale that invention for specific duration of time. So for the patents, the specific duration is at 20 years from the first filing date. Now patent सभी product को या तो process को patent नहीं मिलता है. For that we have to check whether every research work cannot be patented. Patent can be given to only those inventions or those research work who fulfills the 3 criteria, which is known as the patentability criteria. So these are the 3 criteria: novelty, new invention, non-obviousness, inventiveness, and the industrial applicability or the usefulness. So novelty क्या है? The newness means new, means आप जो भी product लेके आए हो वो टोटली न्यू होना चाहिए. इट नॉट नोन एनीवेयर इन द वर्ल्ड. मतलब कोई भी रिसर्च आर्टिकल में या तो कोई पेटेंट पब्लिकेशन में या गूगल पे ऐसे या कोई न्यूज़पेपर में कहीं पे भी वो प्रोडक्ट के बारे में नोन, मतलब वो थिंग्स नोन नहीं होने चाहिए. लाइक कोई मेडिसिन है, या तो अभी वैक्सीन का एग्जांपल ले लें, तो अभी जो वैक्सीन आई वो वैक्सीन कहीं पे नोन नहीं थी, राइट. सो वो वैक्सीन में जो इंग्रेडिएंट्स यूज हुए, जो कंपोनेंट्स यूज हुए, वो कहीं पे नोन नहीं थे. वो लोग ये नोवेल्टी वाला क्राइटेरिया फुलफिल होता है कि दैट दे हैव यूज्ड सम ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट इज नॉट नॉन प्रोसेस फॉर दैट इज आल्सो नॉट. नाउ कमिंग टू द नॉन ऑब्वियसनेस. अभी जो व्हीकल्स थे वो पेट्रोल डीजल पे चल रहे हैं. नाउ द टाइम इज कमिंग फॉर द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक ईवी व्हीकल्स, लाइक सो दैट इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स के लिए क्या है, कुछ टेक्निकल एडवांसमेंट हुआ कि आपका फ्यूल कंजप्शन कम हो जाएगा, जो भी फ्यूल के रिलेटेड जो भी एक्सपेंसेस है वो भी कम हो जाएंगे. सो इट गिव्स द इकोनॉमिकल सिग्निफिकेंस एज वेल एज गिव द टेक्निकल एडवांसमेंट. सो अगर न्यू है, फिर थोड़ी चीजें वो नोन है, मतलब व्हीकल तो है ही, बोथ आर द व्हीकल्स, वन इज वर्किंग ऑन द फ्यूल्स, अनदर इज वर्किंग ऑन द इलेक्ट्रिक, another is the electric vehicle. So दोनों में advancement with there. So अगर वो advancement है और उसमें कुछ economical हमको benefits होते हैं, so that is fulfilling the criteria of the non-obviousness. And third one is related to the industry applicability, means that is capable to make and use in the industry as well as the society. मतलब लैब स्केल पे हमने बना दिया, लेकिन वो इंडस्ट्रियल लेवल पे बन रहा है कि नहीं बन रहा है, that if that criteria will be fulfilling, then if we are fulfilling all these 3 criteria, then we can apply for the patent for that particular process as well as the product. Is this clear?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Now coming to the patent search. अभी हमारे पास कोई आइडिया है या तो कोई प्रोडक्ट है, इधर वो मैकेनिकल प्रोडक्ट है, आपने कोई डिवाइस बनाया है, आपने कोई मेडिसिनल प्रोडक्ट बनाई है, आपने कोई न्यू फूड प्रोडक्ट बनाया है, या तो कोई मसाला है ऐसा कि जो हैविंग अ डिफरेंट कंपोजिशन जो अभी तक कहीं पे भी नोन नहीं था, राइट. सो उसमें आप क्या करेंगे कि हमको पहले पेटेंट सर्च करना पड़ेगा. सो पेटेंट सर्च मीन्स फाइंडिंग अ पेटेंट डॉक्यूमेंट विच ऑलरेडी पब्लिश्ड और द पेटेंटेड. Then what is the goal of that? To be able to find the information closely similar to that your invention. आप पेटेंट सर्च करेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा, ओके लेट्स फॉर एग्जांपल ये मेडिसिन है जो डायबिटीज के लिए यूज हो रही है, अभी ये मेडिसिन की टैबलेट ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल है, लेकिन कैप्सूल, सिरप वो सब अवेलेबल नहीं है, तो उसकी टैबलेट आप वही मेडिसिन पे वर्क कर रहे हैं जो डायबिटीज में ही यूज होगी, लेकिन आप दूसरे टाइप के फॉर्मुलेशन पे वर्क कर रहे हैं, या तो आप उसका कुछ सिरप बना रहे हैं या तो इंजेक्टेबल इंजेक्शन बना रहे हैं उसका। सो आपको अगर डिटेल्स चाहिए कि क्या क्या इस फील्ड में ये ड्रग पर कितना वर्क हुआ है, सो उसके लिए पेटेंट सर्च विल बी हेल्पफुल। फिर पेटेंट सर्च और प्रायर आर्ट सर्च में क्या क्या होगा, प्रीवियस पेटेंट्स विल बी देयर, जर्नल आर्टिकल्स, पब्लिकेशन सच एज द बुक्स, पब्लिक डिस्कशन, कोई सेमिनार्स है, कॉन्फ्रेंस है, वो कहीं पे भी अगर ये चीज डिस्क्लोज हो गई है तो वो नोवेल्टी डिस्ट्रॉय कर देगी और यू कैन नॉट अप्लाई फॉर द पेटेंट। कोई ब्रोशर्स है, अभी कौन से पेटेंट सर्च टूल्स हैं, सो देयर आर मल्टीपल और द मेनी फ्री एंड पेड डेटाबेसेस आर देयर, फ्रॉम देयर यू कैन सर्च फॉर योर पेटेंट एप्लीकेशन। So the free databases are the INPAS, Indian Patent Search Advanced Search System, that is the Indian Patent Office database, then the ESPASnet, that is European Patent Search Database, PatentScope, that is the worldwide database that is given by the WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, then Google Patents, Free Patent Online, USPTO means US Patent Portal, right? So all those are the different search databases on which you can search for your invention or the research. Now, why we need to search the why we need of this patent search? So to learn more about your field or the technology, to write a patent application, अगर आपकी प्रोडक्ट ऐसी है कि जिसके लिए पेटेंट फाइल हो सकती है, वो तीनों क्राइटेरिया फुलफिल हो रहे हैं, so then how to write the patent application, for that also this will be helpful. To understand the competition into the market, to avoid the patent infringement, means आप जो प्रोडक्ट लेके आ रहे हो वो आपको पता है कि यूनिक नहीं है, वो ऑलरेडी नोन है, लेकिन किसी और पर्सन ने जिस टाइम पे वो यूनिक थी उस टाइम पे उन्होंने उसके लिए पेटेंट अप्लाई कर दिया है और दे हैविंग अ राइट्स फॉर दैट। सो अगर किसी और पर्सन के पास उसके राइट्स है तो आप वो यूज नहीं कर सकते, बिकॉज इट्स अ लीगल राइट्स, राइट? सो अगर आपने वो यूज किया तो वो आप पे लीगल सूट फाइल करेगा और पूरी लीगल प्रोसेस चलेगी। सो टू अवॉइड दोज थिंग्स ऑल्सो पेटेंट सर्च विल बी यूजफुल to save the cost of the patent processing, to get the information about the markets, for all these things the patent search is required. Then what is the patent search methodology? Determine the purpose of the search, means आपको किस what is the purpose behind to perform this patent search? आप कोई कंपनी लेके आए, उसमें कोई प्रोडक्ट है, अगर वो प्रोडक्ट यूनिक नहीं है, you know that, but that can be protected by some other person's property. सो फॉर दैट वो आपका माइंडसेट क्या हुआ कि भाई मुझे मार्केट में जाना है, मुझे पेटेंट अप्लाई नहीं करना है, लेकिन मैं मार्केट में जा रहा हूँ या जा रही हूँ तो वो प्रोडक्ट के लिए मेरे पे कोई लीगल एक्शन होंगे कि नहीं होंगे, तो वो पर्पस डिफरेंट हो गया। अनदर एग्जांपल लेते हैं, तो आप कोई यूनिक प्रोडक्ट लेके आए हो, उसके लिए आपको पेटेंट अप्लाई करना है, तो वो पर्पस अलग हो गया कि आपको पेटेंट अप्लाई करना है, अभी यहाँ पे आपको पेटेंट बाईपास करना है। So both the purposes are different. So first you have to determine what is the purpose behind that. Then you have to select the databases. मतलब जो Indian patent database है, US patent database है, they are providing the details of that country specific only. Indian database पे आप सर्च करोगे तो वो इंडिया की ही डिटेल्स देंगे, यूएस में यूएस की ही देंगे, लेकिन जो यूरोपियन है, वर्ल्ड वाइड जो वाइपो का डेटाबेस है, फ्री पेटेंट ऑनलाइन, दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग द डिटेल्स ऑफ द ऑल द पेटेंट्स अराउंड अक्रॉस द ग्लोब। सो उसके बेसिस पे अगर आपको इंडिया में ही पेटेंट अप्लाई करना है तो आपको ग्लोबली सर्च करना पड़ेगा, अगर आपको इंडिया में पेटेंट को बाईपास करना है तो आपको इंडियन पेटेंट सर्च डेटाबेस का यूज करना पड़ेगा। सो फर्स्ट यू हैव टू क्लियर योर पर्पस, डिसाइड योर पर्पस, देन सिलेक्ट द सम ऑफ द डेटाबेसेस, देन गैदर द नेसेसरी डेटा, मींस जो आपके पास प्रोडक्ट है उसके सिनोनिम्स है, उसके रिलेवेंट कोई टेक्नोलॉजी नेम है, सो गैदर ऑल दिस डेटा, आइडेंटिफाई द सब्जेक्ट मैटर, टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ दैट, then generate the keywords, synonyms of that, relevant words of that, then prepare the search query by using the Boolean operator that we will learn in the upcoming slides, then conduct a search, evaluate the results, उसमें भी बहुत ज्यादा रिजल्ट्स आ रहे हैं या तो आपको कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है उसपे, तो मॉडिफाई द सर्च strategy and then again repeat the search, analyze, summarize and prepare the report for that. So these are the various Boolean operators are there which are used for the keyword search of the patent. So if we are using the AND as an operator, so all the terms in combination are anywhere in the document. So एक patent आपने अगर AND use किया, A and B means A and B both are in the combination, कहीं पे भी होगा documents में तो वो उसके relevant आपको results दिखाएंगे. Then if you are using the OR means one or other or both terms in the document. So A or B means A separate results for the individual A, individual B and the combination of both. वो तीनों के रिजल्ट देंगे. Then not one term is present and another is not present in the document. So if you are using A, not B, so they're giving the results of in which the only A is there, not the B will be there, right? Then if you are using the star mark as a asterisk marks as a Boolean operator, so for the characters of the any length, if you are writing the compo and the star or the asterisk marks, so it gives the results of the composition, compound, composite, etc. Means after compo, anything is as a suffix that can be come into the star marks, the asterisk marks. Then in the question mark for the 0 and the 1 character, if you are writing the pen and putting the question mark over there, so it gives the results of the pen as well as the pens. But if you are putting the hashtag as a prefix, then the hashtag pen means it gives the only results of the pen, not of the pens. So by this way, you can modify your search if you are not getting any result or you are getting more results. आप जब पेटेंट सर्च कर रहे हो और आपको ज्यादा रिजल्ट मिल रहे हैं तो भी आप ये बुलियन ऑपरेटर से उसको मिनिमाइज कर सकते हैं, या तो आपको कोई स्पेसिफिक रिजल्ट नहीं मिल रहा है तो भी आप ये बुलियन ऑपरेटर से वो रिजल्ट आपको मिल सकता है. So for this keyword search, the different types of these Boolean operators are used for the patent. Is this clear? कि क्यों हम पेटेंट सर्च करते हैं, उसके क्या बेनिफिट्स है, क्या क्या डेटाबेसेस हैं?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So now this is the same portal that is InPass, Indian Patent Search Database. In that you have to select this e-gateway. In the e-gateway you have to go to the public search, and in the public search you have to select the patents. So once you select this patent search, you will get this type of the window. In that also, like design, there are multiple options are there by the way of the applicant name, by way of the inventor name, by the way of the applicant country, application number, inventor's address, inventor's country. मतलब आपके पास अगर कोई डिटेल है कॉम्पिटिटर्स की तो बाय दैट वे यू कैन सर्च. बट आपके पास कोई डिटेल नहीं है, यू हैव जस्ट आइडिया अबाउट दैट कि आपका ये रिसर्च वर्क है, आपका ये आइडिया है, for that you want protection of the patent. So उसमें आप ये दो कैटेगरी का यूज कर सकते हैं. One is related to the title, abstract and complete specification. So title means कहीं पे भी आप जो भी वर्ड डाल रहे हो वो टाइटल में रहेगा, टाइटल ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर पेटेंट एप्लीकेशन. सो वो सर्च करेगा. अगर एब्स्ट्रैक्ट में रहेगा तो वो एब्स्ट्रैक्ट का सर्च करेगा. और कंप्लीट स्पेसिफिकेशन मींस होल डॉक्यूमेंट. तो अगर होल डॉक्यूमेंट in the whole document, if you want to search, then you can select this complete specification related thing. From here, you can use this Boolean operator or logical operator and or and not they have given. So add the keywords over here, add the captcha code and run a search. So you will get the results of that. अगर आपको कोई पेन रिलेटेड रिजल्ट चाहिए तो एब्स्ट्रैक्ट में आप डालो पेन, देन add the captcha code and search. तो जो डिफरेंट टाइप की पेन के अंदर जो भी यूज होगा वो आ जाएगा. या तो आप व्हीकल के रिलेटेड कोई आपको सर्च करना है तो आप व्हीकल या तो इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल डाल दो, तो उसके रिलेवेंट कितने पेटेंट्स फाइल हुई है वो सारी डिटेल्स आपको इसमें मिल जाएगी. वो पेटेंट एप्लीकेशन नंबर आ जाएगा, वहां पे आप क्लिक करेंगे, यू विल गेट ऑल द डिटेल्स अबाउट दैट पर्टिकुलर इन्वेंशन. Then second one is the European Patent Database, or that is also known as the ESPASnet. So जो इंडियन पेटेंट डेटाबेस हमने देखा वहां से हमको सिर्फ इंडियन पेटेंट ही मिलेंगे जो इंडिया में फाइल हुए. Now in the ESPASnet or this database जो है यूरोपियन डेटाबेस, from that we will get the all over the world में कहीं पे भी पेटेंट फाइल हुआ होगा, अगर ये चाइना है, जापान है, यूएस है, यूरोप है, कोरिया है, सब जगह के पेटेंट डिटेल्स we will get from the ESPASnet. Now in the ESPASnet also हम डायरेक्ट सर्च भी कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पे डायरेक्ट सर्च में कीवर्ड डाल दो और सर्च कर दो, तो वो कीवर्ड लेके वो किसी भी तरह कीवर्ड ले लेगा, एंड से ले लेगा, और से ले लेगा, और बेस्ड ऑन दैट विल गिव यू द रिजल्ट्स. अगर ऐसा नहीं जाना है तो यू कैन ऑल्सो परफॉर्म दिस एडवांस सर्च दैट इज नोन एज द कीवर्ड सर्च. तो उसमें भी आप टाइटल में अपना वर्ड डाल सकते हो, तो टाइटल में जहाँ पे भी होगा वो आपको दिखेंगे रिजल्ट्स. टाइटल और एब्स्ट्रैक्ट में डालेंगे तो दोनों में वर्ड होगा तो वो रिजल्ट्स आएंगे. और यहाँ पे भी आप ये बुलियन ऑपरेटर्स यूज कर सकते हो, एंड और नॉट. देन दिस इज द पेटेंट स्कोप, जो वर्ल्ड इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का डेटाबेस है. दिस इज ऑल्सो गिव द डिटेल्स ऑफ द ऑल द कंट्रीज पेटेंट फाइलिंग. So यहाँ पे they have given the different type of the searches are there. From that we will, for the keyword search, we are selecting this field combination search. When we are clicking on this field combination search, we will can perform add the keyword over here by using the operator of the any and or. In that also you can add the terms over here. You can by the way of the inventor name, assignee name, or like that. So this is all about the patent, all about the different types of the IPRs and the how we can search those IPRs. Now we'll quickly go through that classification of the trademark as well as the design, how we can select those particular product related classification. And now or later on, anytime if anyone have any query regarding this IP, so you can contact me on this mail ID as well as the phone number. Okay, just a minute, I'm sharing another screen. Is this PDF is visible to all?
Yes, madam, it is.
Yes, so this Locarno classification is used for the design registration. So they have given the multiple classes over here. Total 32 classes are there that can be again having a subclasses also. So we are taking one or two example of the some of the classes. So for example, a class 1 that is related to the foodstuffs. Then class 2 that is related to the any clothing or textile related things. Then class 4 is related to the brushware. So if you are coming with any new brush, like now the brush is available with the tongue cleaner, the tongue cleaner is on the back side of that brush, right? Now, but if you are come up with any new brush, in that tongue cleaner is in the bottom portion, not in the top portion, is on the bottom portion. And you are also added one features of the toothpaste filling over there in the middle part. So that is a different design because that is not available into the market. So you have to search into this class 4. You have to search for the design search, and then you have to apply into the class 4 of the brushwares. Then any tools or hardwares are there, any transport related any equipments are there. So for that, the different type of the product category, based on they have divided into the different classes. Now we are taking the subclasses of that brushwares because that is little bit easy for you all to understand. So जैसे हमने देखा ये class 4 is for the brushwares, right? Now usme they have divided into the class 4 into the subclass 1, 2, 3, 4 and 99. So brushwares and the broom for the cleaning. So कोई भी ऐसे brushes है that is used for the cleaning, not for the toothbrushes, but for that used for the any of the cleaning. In that, if you are come up with any new design, then you can apply into the class 4 subclass 1. Then any toilet brushes, clothes brushes and other shoe brushes, they are specifically given into the subclass 2. Then the brushes for the machines, that is divided into the subclass 3. Then the any paint brushes or the brushes that are used in the cooking, so they are protected in the subclass 4. And if your brushes are not or the design for your brushes is not come into any of these class 1 to 4, subclass 1 to 4, then you can apply into the 99 in the miscellaneous class. So by that way, you can select any of the class and the subclass for that you want to apply for your particular design application. Is this clear?
Yes, madam.
Yes. Now coming to the trademark related classification. So in that, as we have told that, as I have told that in the trademark, there is a two types are there. One is the product, another is the service. So they have also divided the classification in the two categories. One is the product related classification, another is the service based classification. So in the product classification, they have divided the things into total 34 classes, and for the services, they have divided from the 35 to 42, 35 to 45 are the for the service based selects service based classification, and from the 1 to 34 that is related to the product based trademark registration. So as we saw that in the class 1, that is related to the chemicals used in the industry, science, photography, agriculture, horticulture, forestry. So कोई भी ऐसे chemicals है या तो plastic material है या resins है कि जो कहीं पे भी यूज होता है एग्रीकल्चर फील्ड में, साइंस में, फोटोग्राफी में. सो दैट कैन बी दैट प्रोडक्ट जो इसके रिलेटेड रहेगा वो दैट कैन बी प्रोटेक्टेड इनटू द क्लास 1. then कोई paints है, varnishes है, liquors है, preservative है, so that all can be protected into the class 2. कोई pharmaceutical, कोई भी medicines है, veterinary medicines है, so those can be protected in the class 5. Then some of the vehicles are there that can be by the way of the land, water or air. कोई भी vehicle है, कोई aircraft है, plane किसी ने बनाया, उसमें कुछ उस सॉरी प्लेन के अंदर जो कोई लोगो उनको दिया हुआ है, सपोज ये इंडिगो है, सो इंडिगो दैट इज द लोगो, राइट? सो वो किसके रिलेवेंट है? दैट इज रिलेटेड टू द एनी प्लेन और द एयर व्हीकल. सो उसके लिए इफ यू वांट टू अप्लाई, सो यू हैव टू अप्लाई इन द क्लास 12. Then कोई म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट है, if someone has having a company of that guitar or the any of musical instruments, so उसमें उन्होंने if trademark they want to apply, so they can apply into the class 15, and based on that we have to perform the search of trademark also, because वो same name अगर आपका है लेकिन वो म्यूजिकल के लिए आपने यूज किया है, लेकिन वो ऑलरेडी था किसी फार्मास्यूटिकल या तो कोई व्हीकल्स के लिए, तो वो आपके लिए रिलेवेंट नहीं होगा. अगर वो अप्लाई हुआ है क्लास 12 में व्हीकल्स के लिए, or you want to apply those similar name for your musical instrument in the class 15, then you can apply. But the similar class में similar name अगर रहेगा, so you cannot apply for that. Then these are the different any textile goods, then you have to apply into the class 24. Then in the service base, so any advertising, business management, business administration related things are there, that you have to apply into the class 35. Then any telecommunication related services, if you are providing, then you have to apply into class 38. Then as I have said, my law firm is working on the legal services or the IP based services. So if I want to protect my logo and my name by the way of the trademark, so for that I have to search for that name into class 45, because it's related to the legal services. If कोई institution है जो एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड करता है, ट्रेनिंग लाइक दैट, सो फॉर दैट दे कैन प्रोटेक्ट देयर ट्रेडमार्क और देयर नेम और द लोगो बाय इन द क्लास 41. क्लियर दिस?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so this is all about from my this is about from the all the types of the IPR and the IPR search. Thank you so much. Now the questions are most welcome.
Okay, so if anyone is having any questions, then I would request them to type the questions in the chat box, and then I can read it out to Preeti madam. Okay, by the time participants are framing their questions, I would like to ask a few things, madam, here, because most of the times people are not very well versed with all these things, which class the item falls into, or where they could, in which area they could place the patent application into. So is there any agency or will the patent attorney help them out in order to prepare the document so that that can be filed to the patent office?
Yes, so उसमें क्या रहता है कि जो भी कोई भी आपके पास कोई भी आइडिया है, so you have to go to the कोई भी पेटेंट एजेंट के आप पास जाएंगे कि ये कोई भी वे में मतलब इससे पेटेंटेबल और we can apply for the trademark, copyright or anything on that, so they can guide from starting from the patent or IPR search to the last registration or the granting process.
Right. लेकिन ऐसा मतलब ऑब्जर्व किया गया है कि many of the times the fees which is there for the patent attorney is too much, for especially for say if the person is coming from academic institution or a student wants to apply for a patent, then the fees that the attorney charges is quite high. So is there any meaning kind of a grant that government provides so that that can be subsidized to a particular value?
Yes, so especially in the Gujarat, they have come up with the one SSIP, a student startup innovation policy. So in that they are giving the whole the fund of that patent filing for the official fees as well as the attorney fees. So for patent as well as trademark, design and copyright. With that, in the overall in the patent office also, they have a one SSIP scheme. The same similar scheme will be there. So any of the patent facilitator which are already a patent agent, but they have registered as a patent facilitator under the DIPP and the in the patent office. So once that person or the innovator or the student have to pay, once that patent or the granted or the design will be registered, after that patent office will reimburse the that official fees to them.
Okay.
And there are multiple, one more is there for the exact name I forgot, but the Abdul Kalam, so one scheme is there. They are providing the filing charge as well as they are not providing for the attorney charges, but they are providing the filing as well as the request for examination related. The total 5,000 they are paying for single patent.
Okay.
Approximately 5,600 or 5,000 they are paying for the patent filing.
Yes, many of the state governments have actually given this kind of subsidized facility for application of the patents, but most of the times the attorney charges are not included in that category. So I just wanted to ask now, say for example, if I want to file a patent, I am from Maharashtra. Can I come to Gujarat and go for hiring a patent attorney from there so that
Yes.
I can avail the facilities which are given by Gujarat government?
That you can hire any of the patent agent throughout our country. There is no bar for that. But for in the SSIP Gujarat scheme, they are providing the fund to the particular institution. So if you have any contact in an institution and you and that person who is from that institution both together, if they are filing a patent application, then you can reimburse the things. But you can hire any of the patent agents throughout the India. So some of the big law firms having a charging a lot, but some of the startup phase or the lower means the law firms which are in the very starting phase, they are charging. Means the charges are affordable.
Okay, there is one question, madam, in the chat box. It is about food masala. Example, famous Sauji food masala of Nagpur. Can it be patented? That's the question.
Yeah, so for that we have to do the patent search, whether they have used the ingredients in that, whether each and every ingredients are already known. And if it's already known, then you have just come up with the sum of the portion you are taking आप थोड़ा सा amount ये मसाला मतलब ये ingredients ले रहे हो, ये quantity आपने just vary किया है, so for that you cannot apply for the patent. But the whole the masala or the ingredients which you are using that is not known anywhere, then you can apply for that. But अगर similarly वो मसाला जो that is particularly available into the Nagpur, so that may be lead to that geographical indications. जैसे ऑरेंजेस वहां के फेमस, ऐसे ही ये मसाला सिर्फ वहीं बनता है that particular region only. So for that you have to apply for the geographical indication. और उसमें कोई individual person cannot apply for the geographical indication. That particular community they have to apply for that geographical indication. But that masala, that in that you have selected any particular quantity of that, if you are changing that quantity and based on that effect will be changed, or that the preparation of that masala, that is also a different one, then you can apply for the patent. But for that first we have to perform the patent search, whether the similar things is available or not.
Right. So are there any other questions? Okay, even otherwise, Preeti madam has shared her phone number as well as email ID during her presentation. And we will also distribute it among the participants, whoever wishes to get in contact with you. I hope that is fine with you, madam.
Yes, sure. Anytime anyone can ask any question related to the IP.
Right. So,
and if possible in the later on stage, means in upcoming time, if you can arrange for that particular patent, how we can draft the patent, means the patent writing, drafting is the legal word. So because the search related part we will finish today. So for the upcoming is the drafting and the filing. So that sequential sessions I can happy to deliver. So if is there any requirement related to that, then I'm available for that.
Right, that will be really helpful, madam, because drafting is again a very challenging task. So we would definitely get back to you and schedule another such session in which you can tell the participants about how the patent can be drafted. Perhaps by that time, participants can go through the patent search and classification details, what you have shared with them. And if possible, is it okay with you, madam, if you can share with us the PowerPoint presentation?
Sure, I will share after the completion of this session.
Okay, so then we can distribute it amongst the participants, and the participants can go through the entire detail at their own pace.
And this
So
is
thank
just
you
my
so much.
one suggestion from my side कि जो भी आप मतलब मैं presentation आपको share कर रही हूँ, so you have details how to search, right? So
Right.
अगर आपके पास कोई आइडिया नहीं है, मतलब कोई स्टूडेंट के पास, लेकिन आपको पता है कि Nike is there, which is already trademarked. So आप वो किस क्लास में आ सकते हैं? You can, I will also share this both the classification as well. So you can just pick that this is comes under the footwears. Then you add that class number over there, add the Nike word there, whether they have actually protected or not. And if they are protected, what they have written over there. So just do this little bit exercise for all the types of the IPRs. You will also get little bit interest in that. And whenever you are thinking, then you will think in that direction.
Right. So that makes sense, because many of the times students do have certain idea in their mind, and they just start working on it without looking for that whether the idea is already there in the market or not, or whether it is already patented or not. So it makes sense that they first go for novelty search and then only work on the idea, so that their efforts are not wasted.
Yes, and after by performing all these searches, if you can fill any of the query, or if you can have any questions, so you can contact me for that.
Okay, there is one question coming from Devendra Shende. He is asking that college में जो research subjects होते हैं, वो patent कर सकते हैं?
Sir, can you please little
depends
bit
upon what type of research you are talking about, Devendra. Okay, madam,
yes,
you can go ahead.
Yeah, so can you please little bit modify your question?
Yeah, Devendra, if you want to turn on your mic and speak directly with madam, you can do.
मैं ये बोल रहा था मैडम कि जो रिसर्च के सब्जेक्ट लॉ के, हेलो,
यस,
हाँ देवेंद्र, गो अहेड।
जो रिसर्च के सब्जेक्ट जैसे लॉ के, उसके आप उसमें अगर कोई अपन रिसर्च किए है उसको पेटेंट कर सकते हैं?
लॉ में आप पेटेंट में नहीं
सब्जेक्ट है,
स्पेसिफिकली लो जो है ना, उसमें आप पेटेंट के लिए नहीं जा सकते। मतलब वो फिर आपने रिसर्च किया, मतलब कुछ नया राइटअप होगा, राइट, उसमें। सो फॉर दैट यू कैन अप्लाई फॉर द कॉपीराइट। लेकिन पेटेंट में, हाँ, पेटेंट में ऐसा है कि कोई ऐसा प्रोडक्ट होनी चाहिए कि जो सोसाइटी के लिए बेनिफिशियल हो, मार्केट इंडस्ट्री में बेनिफिशियल हो। लाइक सपोज ये, सॉरी,
कॉपीराइट कर सकते हैं क्या?
हाँ, मतलब आपने कोई नया चैप्टर लिखा है, बुक चैप्टर है, या तो आपने ऐसा रिसर्च किया हुआ है कि जो कुछ एक्ट में चेंज हो रहा है, लाइक दैट। सो उसमें मतलब वो भी कॉपीराइट सर्च हम करके उसमें कॉपीराइट के लिए जा सकते हैं, लेकिन पेटेंट उसमें नहीं हो पाएगा। पेटेंट इसलिए
कॉपीराइट बोल रहा हूँ कि फिर उसमें कॉपीराइट इसलिए बोल मैडम क्योंकि उस बाद में कोई डॉक्टरेट वगैरह करे तो वो सब्जेक्ट कोई दूसरा ना ले, वही सब्जेक्ट रहा हो, इसीलिए
वो पर्टिकुलरली वो सब्जेक्ट को तो आप बाउंड नहीं कर सकते हो, बिकॉज सारे ये जो कोई भी आईपीआर से उसका वही है, मतलब एक मोटो वही है कि उसके बाद लोगों उसमें कुछ एडवांसमेंट लाए। सपोज एक टेक्नोलॉजी एक है कि जो ऑलरेडी ये राउटर है सपोज, तो ये अवेलेबल है, लेकिन अभी इसके बाद वो अलग अलग राउटर्स लेके आए कि जो स्मॉल साइज का था, कुछ एडवांसमेंट थे उसमें, तो आप जो भी रिसर्च कर रहे हो उसको आप एज सच बाउंड नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन जो भी नेक्स्ट पर्सन आएगा वो उससे कुछ एडवांसमेंट लेके आए, तो एज सच सब्जेक्ट को वी कैन नॉट बाउंड। बट आपने ऐसा कुछ ये मतलब बुक चैप्टर वगैरह में ऐसा कुछ लिखा हुआ हो कि जिसमें आप उसका कुछ डिटेल्स दे रहे हैं कि कोई पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक है या तो पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट है जिसमें आपने डिटेल में स्टडी किया, डिटेल में रिसर्च की, उसके रिगार्डिंग आप कुछ राइटअप में दे रहे हैं, सो फॉर दैट राइटअप यू कैन गेट the copyright for that, but the particular subject you cannot bound, because फिर उसमें कभी रिसर्च होगा ही नहीं। if government will give you the monopoly for that, so the research for that particular field will be stopped.
Okay.
Okay, Preeti madam, thank you so much for that valuable lecture. You can see in the chat messages that participants are also posting a lot of things there which convey their what you can say affection towards the way that you have delivered the entire stuff. So thank you so much for that informative lecture. We'll get back to you certainly for the next lecture, where we plan to invite you for drafting related to patent and other IPR filing methods. So
Sure, sir.
We hope that you can make yourself available during that time as well.
Yeah, sure, sir. I will try.
Thank you so much, madam.
Yeah.
We'll now move on to our next speaker. And the second talk of today's session, I would again now request Ms. Anusha Patre madam to formally introduce us with our second speaker, who is an entrepreneur, and she will give you the details about him. Anusha madam.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Coffee, for some, it is an essential morning brew that kickstarts the day, and for others, it's just a relaxing drink to sip at a time. So either way, this globally renowned beverage finds its way to loyal consumers worldwide. But the consumption is only one side. Roasting, brewing, and serving coffee is another. It takes exams, experience, perseverance, and more to enter and establish yourself in the industry. To dive deep into this realm, we have an ardent personality whose life took a U-turn because of an idea that changed his life. And he started Corridor 7 Coffee Roasters, a business that is not found in the market very much. Mithilesh Fazalwar is a coffee cube raider, one among the only 20 odd in India, a coffee roaster, taster, and trainer, a consultant to cafes and roasters with several ongoing national and international projects. Only 3 years into the field, he is also the first Indian AeroPress champion and the first to have represented India at the World AeroPress Championship, Seoul, South Korea, competing among coffee brewer champions from over 50 nations. Mithilesh has undergone intensive training in Melbourne, Delhi, Shanghai, Thailand, reiterating his belief that it takes uncompromising hours, working even 18 hours a day, to back all those childhood dreams. Specialty Coffee Association of America, Certified Coffee Cupper, and Specialty Coffee Association of Europe, Certified Barista. Mithilesh is also certified in Level 1 Barista and Level 2 Latte Art from the Coffee School in Melbourne, Australia. He has also qualified 22 extremely challenging sensory tests for over 6 days conducted by Coffee Quality Institute. He was the keynote speaker at Indian International Coffee Festival, Bangalore, and TEDx speaker at Symbiosis Pune. He was also invited by Nestle Channel for a talk on specialty coffee as well. We are pleased to have you today, sir. Without any further ado, I now request you to kindly start the session. Over to you, sir.
Hi. First of all, the typical question: am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the introduction, Anusha ma'am. And hi, Mr. Devrat. It's a pleasure to be a part of the session.
Hello.
And hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Great. So it's a pleasure to be a part of the entire session and to be speaking about what I do and where I come from and what exactly I'm up to and all. I must compliment your efforts about what you guys are how you guys are taking this ahead, because this is not a usual session that you usually see. So yeah, thank you so much for having me over here. I hope I can add some value to everybody who's listening over here. So yeah, so I'll just, and again, thank you for the introduction. I think the introduction went a little too long. I don't know if that I justify the introduction or not, but okay, let me just start off. So let me tell you what I exactly do. All right. There, not everybody would really understand exactly what I do. In fact, my parents sometimes ask like, okay, what more do you do in coffee? First of all, I'm not the person who just makes latte art on the coffee that you get, right? I am not just the person who would serve you a cappuccino or a latte, or I'm not just a person who would design a menu or something like that, right? And I'm I am more into, and my topic is about innovation and brand building, all right, and entrepreneurship. So that will be my second part of the talk. So if I don't do all these things, what I exactly do? So I run a coffee company called Corridor 7 Coffee Roasters. That's the brand as a coffee bag that we've got. And that came into picture in 2017. So my journey started, I was a national level badminton player, where basically we used to travel a lot. Probably we were 200 days on the road, literally traveling pan India for the tournament championships and all. And I used to consume a lot of coffee back then. And every time I had coffee, the question started with why is the taste so different? Um, then there was nothing that would give me an opportunity to know that coffee as a career or coffee as something that I could like jump into coffee or जो मुझे करना है मेरे को idea नहीं था. There was no guidelines, there was no any framework as such. But cut to 2015. By that time, I started drinking a lot of coffee. I used to drink a lot of coffees from outside, from India. And let me tell you, India is like the fifth largest coffee growing nation in the world. And all the coffee gets exported, sadly, used to get exported. 100% of the, or 99% coffee used to get exported. Now, cut to 2015, where I got into coffee professionally when I went to Melbourne for CA tie-up. Basically, I want to have some partnership in Australia, but Australian coffee culture is very strong. And over there, I met a lot of roasters. Roasters are the people who basically, your coffee is green in color, and then it's roasted and it converts into, it changes to brown, right? So that is roasting. That is what roasting is. So I met a lot of roasters. I met a lot of coffee tasters. And what do coffee tasters exactly do? Coffee tasters taste a lot of coffees, of course, but at the same time, I'm a person who will get coffee from all over the country and outside also. And there's a particular way of cupping the coffee. So in coffee, when we say tasting, it's called cupping. So I taste these coffees and I score them. So scoring is an integral part of coffee tasting. I score the coffee on the basis of how the aroma is, how the flavor is, how the body is, how the aftertaste is. There are a lot of parameters. If I would have put that across over here, people would have gotten confused entirely. So I don't want to confuse that. I want to keep it very simple. Basically, मैं coffee judge करता हूँ. Basically, मैं coffee taste करता हूँ, and I score it. And that coffee scoring is legitimate. It is valid on the London and New York Stock Exchange. So coffee is traded on those platforms. Any coffee जिसको 80+ score मिलता है becomes a specialty coffee, जिसका prices ज़्यादा होता है. And any coffee that goes below 80 is a commercial coffee, जिसका prices low होता है. That is what one of the things that I do. How did I become a coffee taster? Let's talk about that a little bit. Now, when I was talking about the Melbourne thing, when I was in Melbourne, I met a lot of roasters and Q graders. One thing I got to know that I have to be good at tasting coffee. So you must have heard about wine tasters, wine connoisseurs. You must have heard about food critics, food tasters. But coffee tasting, that was very new. And yeah, also I forgot to mention, I was pursuing my CA that time, Chartered Accountancy. I was in my final year, like my last group was left, and I also had my CA ka firm. So the funny story is that I decided to get into coffee, but now it's time to convince your parents about it, right? Because it's a very unorthodox, unconventional, undriven path. Nobody knows about it. People thought I'm going to be a waiter. People thought I'm going to be serving at the table. Nobody knew. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm not pinpointing or anything, but होता ही है. Usually जब आप path छोड़ के दूसरे path में जाते हो तो ये questions आते हैं, and my story is no different. Now, I remember going up to my dad's room, and I told him that, I'm not going to pursue CA because it doesn't excite me or whatever. I'm going to do something in coffee. So dad did not ask me even once, why not CA, because he knew that I am going to do something different. He just asked me like, so coffee mein kya karega? Like, what are you going to do in coffee? And I had no answer to that. So I'd given myself a month to answer all those questions. And, like usually in schools, in colleges, there's 10th standard, then you go commerce choose karo, ya science choose karo. Then you've got 12th standard, then uske baad you go to this field, this field. Coffee is a very unstructured field, unstructured world. So I just told him that, okay, I'm going to do something in coffee, give me a month's time. And then what started from 2016, 2015 was a dream. Honestly, if I just look back at 2015 and today, it's a dream. And my entire point where I'm going to go to with this talk is that when you say innovation and brand building is not always tech related. All right. In brand building, there is more than a logo. There is more than the typography, more than the font, more than those are just tools. Those are going to be just the tools. For me, innovation in brand building means how much study have you done on yourself in that path or that field, all right? Like, let me tell you like what I studied then. For me, innovation in brand building, when I say that it's about how much you know in that field, you wouldn't believe I used to taste coffees I used to taste like over 50 coffees every single day for over a year and a half. And because that was how I wanted to prepare myself in coffee tasting. And we being in India, we usually have a lot of spicy food, a lot of flavorful food, tons of flavorful food. But coffee mein jo flavors hai wo bahut minute, and they're very subtle, very delicate, very muted kind of a thing. So you have to recalibrate your palate. So I tasted 50 coffees every single day, at least for a year and a half. And uske baad I went back to Australia to do my examination, where in my introduction, ma'am said that I'm a coffee Q grader. Q stands for quality. And basically there is just 25 odd Q graders in the country who can score and judge the coffee. How that examination goes is, it's an examination. There's no course. Let me be very clear. It's an examination of like 7 days, in which you end up tasting over 700 to 800 cups of coffees, all black coffees, of course, no milk and all. But you taste around 700-800 cups of coffees, and it's done under a red lit room. Red bulb rehta hai, uske under rehta hai, because they don't want you to see the coffee ka color and all those things. And you have to taste it, you have to mark it, you have to score it, you have to write the attributes, you have to find the defects, a lot of things. It's not easy. So I would say, honestly speaking, with my hand to my heart, I think it is difficult than CA, genuinely speaking, because I've seen both sides. So yeah, I passed that examination in Melbourne, and Melbourne being the coffee capital of the world, I remember the first day when I went for the examination, people were looking at me and saying, okay, he might not pass, India se hai, to usko pata nahi rahega, and all that. I like that, like underestimate me and I'll show you sort of. But at the end of it, I passed that examination, and it was a terrific feeling, to be honest, because what had happened. So I'll come back to the point of innovation and brand building. Why I wanted to do that in Australia? Why did I not do that examination in any other part of the world? Because I wanted to prove that in India also, Indian can also pass that examination. An Indian can pass that examination outside. Was there anybody to guide me? No. Was there anybody to internet helping me? Not at all. All right. So that is basically brand building, I would say, for me, because I build my brand, I build myself, I've got my confidence that I know what the coffee is. So the most important point I'm trying to tell you is, when you build a brand, you need to know the product in and out, no questions asked. You need to know all the products. You need to know everything what you're doing about the coffee, about for the product. That's lesson number one that I would like to share for you. Had I not gone through that path, probably I would have been just a cafe. So my brand is called Corridor 7 Coffee Roasters, where we basically source the coffee directly from the Indian farmers. And I personally go to the Indian coffee farmers in Chikmagalur, Coorg, Yercaud, all these places wherever the coffee is growing. And I know that, and even they know that they cannot give me a product which is of mediocre range, because my quality standards are super high. So they're going to give me the product which is going to be of an international level. And that's how you need to have a confidence of how and what you're doing. So we go to the estates directly, source the coffee, and roast it over here. And we now have 2 cafes also, which is now gradually expanding to the other cities as well. I'm going to talk a little bit about the brand Corridor 7 Coffee Roasters. I'm not sure if everybody has heard about it, so I'll just reiterate on that. Corridor 7 is basically a brand which was built from a 180 square feet space, from an area which was not meant to be for a coffee shop, to be honest. I don't know if everybody is aware of this area called Sitabardi in Nagpur. That's basically it's a market. It's not for a coffee shop. When you say coffee shop, you'll be like, okay. And why I'm telling you this, I'll tell you that also. So it's the most unorthodox locations. It's the most unaware location, and a location where nobody would want to go hang out. Sort of. But cut to 2017, and I took this 180 square feet space. I put up my roaster over there, and I was traveling a lot that time. I was traveling, I was consulting Nestle, I was consulting other brands in Myanmar, in all these places. My entire point of putting that roastery and my small coffee shop unit in Birdie was that I want my guests to make a conscious decision to come there. I didn't want it to be, sorry for the firecrackers. Am I still audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Oh, nice. So I didn't want to be a place where basically people are driving through and they look at the brand and they're like, hey, you know what? There's a coffee shop over here. Why don't you just go over there? I wanted people to make a conscious decision that they want to go to this place, to Corridor 7. Then, like, that's the plan. All right. Now, why I'm telling you and reinforcing and putting this across is my second lesson for this thing. In hospitality, they say that there are 3 rules to succeed. And the 3 rules are location, location, and location. I genuinely do not believe in that. I genuinely do not believe in that. What I believe is not creating a product. I don't believe in creating a small food menu, all those things. I believe in creating a culture. And now here is where the important point starts. When you're talking about creating a culture, look, back in 2017, in Nagpur, coffee was not something which was very, it was not known. Now is the time where every corner you see, everywhere that you see, there's a coffee shop, there's something new coffee thing opening. You must have met a lot of people who say that, hey, you know what, coffee shops are opening right, left, center. It's like a second Saudi of Nagpur, if I want to put it that way. But that's what, imagine, from a 180 square feet space, from a location which nobody wants to access, nobody wants to go. If you can create a repelling effect, how is that and why is that? I think the answer lies that it's important to know that we basically, what we built was that we wanted people to know what we are doing. If you go through Hamara Instagram account, काफी बार देखोगे that we have put it all open. It is just true sense में what we want to do, what we want to show. It is not something जो हमें बहुत fake करना है. So it's very important that now with this, so I was reading the statistics that every individual today consumes over 3.5 hours of social media on an average. All right. and how does your brand stand aside? How do you stand up aside? How does your brand look like? So our plan at Corridor 7 is we show all the truth, the hardcore reality, all the what do you say, the facts, how what is to be in the hospitality industry and what is it to run a cafe or a coffee shop or a coffee company. It has not to do with the fancy, beautiful stuff that we're showing. That is also there, but we also kept showing that, hey, you know what, this is what we are doing, this is what we are up to, and just raw, organic. So the entire point is that my team at Corridor 7, that I always train and tell them that do not think that you are running a coffee shop. Think that guests are coming to your house. That is innovation. All right. I'll tell you why. Innovation is not always technology. That is what I genuinely believe. Innovation is not always technology. And another point, which before I forget, I would like to make is a lot of people say that, money is a big constraint for us, right? Money, there's no money. That's why we're not able to grow and all. Back in 2017, I didn't have any money. All right. I had invested all my money in my coffee education, in my trips to Australia, Chiang Mai, all these places. But money, trust me, is going to be the last of the problems that you will face. अगर आपका product understanding, अगर आपका field understanding, and अगर आपका base clear है, I think you are more than sorted. One point that I would like to make is that how does an organization structure work? All right, that has to be also remembered by the brand building people. All right, whoever is building a brand. For me, I did not know initially that would I need a HR, would I need a like sourcing group, would I need a sourcing expert for that matter, would I need a tech team? How does it go? So the most important point is you have to, if you've got $100, that's my formula actually. If you've got $100, use a formula of 30, 40, 30, or maybe 30, 50, 20. 20 is something that you can keep for yourself. 50 is something that goes back in the business, no questions asked. 30 is something that you're keeping for a cushion. That is how we grew. I remember back in 2018, हमारा first day नहीं, हमारा highest sale जो था, that was 11,000 rupees, right? 11,000 rupees for a coffee shop is nothing. But that was our first day sale and we celebrated. We celebrated like how? We loved that. We loved that day. I was serving coffee. I was cleaning the cups. I was sweeping the floor. My team was there. My team was cleaning. We were just 3-4 people. But now if you just Google what Corridor 7 is, what we are up to, what we are doing, we've reached a stage where people from outside, in fact, just right now, I got a message and one of our guests said that I booked 2 tickets to Nagpur so that I don't miss not being at Corridor. Unko Corridor 7 itna aana tha that they booked 2 tickets and I don't know, like a lot of things. So they made sure that they came over here. That is what the impact of Corridor 7 has become. We've been visited by people from Australia just to see what are we doing over here. And I'll share like 3 or 4 things in marketing that we have done. So मेरे ख्याल से ये कभी शायद नहीं सुना होगा किसी ने, but whenever we launch a food menu, right? So here are like few tips of how you can proceed or how you can integrate these ideas in something else. So whenever we launch a new food menu, one thing that we always do is something called pay as you like. Pay as you like का फंडा ये है कि you have the food, the amount of the food will be written over there, but you don't need to pay that amount. You can pay more. You can choose not to pay. You can do whatever. We are not going to ask you, but pay as you like is one of the things that now we are taking this up. We are traveling to Delhi and Bangalore next to next month. That's September. And we are collaborating with brands over there and using this marketing tool, pay as you like that gives you very good feedback. That gives you very open feedback. Another, what do you say, innovation in branding that I would say we did was, again, I'm talking about all non-tech because I wanted to have this conversation about a non-tech innovation thing. Because every time when we talk about innovation, it is about innovating a new product, innovating new, solving new problems, solving new these things, which is tech involved, tech related and all. Yes, tech helps, definitely it helps. But innovation does not always mean tech. It also means how do you put your marketing, how do you put your brand in a proper structured marketing way. So one was pay as you like, which has created a really big family of Corridor 7. We've got the kind of feedbacks that we've got. It has helped us improve a lot. And also remember that when you're building a brand, feedback is what you live for. All right. Feedbacks are what you live for. Without a feedback or not listening to a feedback, you will just go out of the market in a day. All right. Not listening to feedback is the biggest crime you can do in any sector, hospitality or whatever. Second thing that we did, and which I'm really proud of my team and my entire family at Corridor, is so what we did was there's an NGO in Nagpur with who we tied up, had a collaboration back in 2018, where what we did was we planned to shut a coffee shop and take a coffee shop to that NGO's project. All right, we put up a coffee shop at the NGO's place where they were rebuilding a shelter home. They were rebuilding a shelter home and they wanted funds. And what we did was we popped up our coffee shop over there. Believe me, Saturday and Sunday of 2018 June, Nagpur literally woke up, like literally woke up. We saw over 1,200 people over there, 1,200, 1,400. It's a huge number in those two days. We saw over 1,200 to 1,400 people walking into that sheltered home, which nobody knew about. They walked in over there, they saw the entire space, and what we had done was we made a silent tour. हम लोग ने क्या किया था, जो shelter room था वहाँ पे basically they were around 80 छोटे बच्चे थे, females थे सारे, who were homeless, and हमें उनके लिए funds raise करना था. तो हमने क्या किया था, उनका जहां जहां हमें funds use करने वाले हैं, maybe in increasing the or improving the washroom, improving their health facility, improving their beds or whatever. So वहां हमने placards लगा के वहां पे write up लिखा हुआ था कि ये this is what we need the funds for. So everybody who walked in, जो भी अंदर आ रहे थे, and when they left, they literally had tears in their eyes and they were moved. All right, that helped us create a lot of trust. And what is innovation in that is what the question is, right? All the coffee sales of those 2 days went to the shelter home. It went to the NGO and the NGO helped in that shelter home. The shelter home is basically in Daga layout, and आप कभी भी वहाँ पे visit कर सकते हैं. You can see the entire change that has happened over there. And ऐसे हमने 3 और fundraisers किए. It has nothing to do with we wanting to be marketing ourselves or like being showing that, okay, we genuinely, it's not a show off. That's what we genuinely feel about. That is what we genuinely want to do. We want to give back to the society, that's for sure. And the best way that I could think was like all coffee sales proceed go to the shelter home. We also renovated a park through coffee. So now coffee so if you see, what I'm trying to say is that coffee is not a product. Coffee has become a means to a lot of things. We are generating over employment of over like 100 people as of now, and that too in COVID times. So COVID, speaking of COVID and hospitality, the toughest time, innovation over there is also something which happened, which I would like to tell. Corridor 7, like we were never going to be on these delivery platforms. We were never going to be there. But when the COVID came, we had to be there. We didn't have any option. We would have been gone. We would be out of the market. And every day that I get up in the morning, I tell myself that if a company like General Motors can shut, my brand is nothing, right? So that's not a fear motivation, but more of a motivation, positive motivation that I have to take it through. But in COVID times पे बाहर के साइड से काफी जो हॉस्पिटैलिटी नहीं है उन्हें मैं बताना चाहता हूँ कि ये डिलीवरी प्लेटफॉर्म्स जो है, they take like 30% of your sales, 30% of the commission. So basically आपके पास कुछ sales का पैसा ज़्यादा रहता नहीं है. But what we did was I took an inspiration from Dabba Walas, right? They are super innovative. Innovation is that we made our operations in such a way that जो takeaway counters थे, without using tech, all right, without using tech, but just flow of events and communications, our delivery speed of the beverage increased 7 times, all right, 7 to 8 times we increased that speed, by which हम लोग हमारे sales faster करते गए. क्योंकि जब लॉकडाउन हुआ, जब कंप्लीट लॉकडाउन था, तब टेकअवेज भी अलाउड नहीं थे, बट धीरे धीरे टेकअवेज अलाउ किए थे. So we were on ground 24/7 just innovating. Like my team has been there रात को 11 बजे से सुबह 7 बजे तक just putting stickers on the bags, like these bags that you see, putting stickers, wrapping up, making bags, so that the next day when the guests come, we will be able to deliver faster. Now that is what innovation is all about. I'm talking about, because you have to be hands on. My talk might seem to be a little theoretical, but that is how exactly I would like to tell you one thing, that till the time you're not hands on onto whatever you're doing, आप जब तक ground level पे नहीं हो, आप जब तक ground level पे काम नहीं करते, तब तक आपका improvisation नहीं होगा. One more thing I want to add is we are a coffee company, and now we are going into the food and the bakery also, for which I personally am taking my baking courses. I'm taking my food courses also, because innovation is the name of the game. It is the movement and growth of the name is the name of the game. That is what is very, very important. And which brings me to a topic of coffee ke championships. I'm sure not everybody knows that there are championships in coffee. It sounds like a funny thing, but coffee mein abhi championships hone lag gaye hain, which basically mean that whoever brews the best, or whoever tastes the best or roasts the best, will represent India at the World Coffee Championships. So coffee has become a sport altogether, where everybody and absolutely anybody can participate in that. So I won something called an AeroPress Championship. AeroPress एक way of brewing है कॉफी में, जहाँ पे इंडिया में फर्स्ट टाइम AeroPress Championship हुआ था 2017 में, and proudly, very, very proudly, I won the Indian National AeroPress Championship 2017 में, and I represented India at the World Coffee Championship. So for an outsider, yes, it may sound the championships in coffee, how does it work? How does it make sense? But the entire point of me working hard is that I want to win a World Coffee Championship, so that what happens is, once somebody wins a World Coffee Championships, everybody across the globe will start looking at India more. People will start investing more. There'll be more better coffee. There'll be better people to work over here. And it will be a basically motivation for everybody. And then India starts climbing the coffee chain in the world, basically. Now there are a lot of brands that are coming out from India who basically want to roast their own coffee, source their own coffee and all that. And that's the best thing that we want, because India is the only country in the world जहाँ पे coffee produce भी हमारे यहाँ हो रहा है, we are roasting also, and we've got end consumers as well. That's a big, big plus for India. As I said about the employment generation, there are a lot of artists who are working with us. Now, how do artists come into picture? Artists come into picture by they're making a career in coffee by being a coffee artist, where they're taking coffee as a beverage and वो coffee से paint कर रहे हैं. And they've got projects not just in Nagpur, but in Bombay, Bangalore, Delhi. So there are a lot of career options in coffee in itself. At this point, I would like to ask if there are any questions before I proceed ahead.
There aren't any in the chat box.
Okay.
But in case anybody likes to ask a question, they can write that in the chat box, or they can turn on their mic and speak directly. to Mithilese, sir.
Sir, how do you got interested in this field? How do you got interested in this field?
Okay. All right. Thank you for the question. Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Devendra Shendu.
Okay. I am Mr. Devendra. Thank you for the question. How did I get interested in this field? Firstly, I used to drink a lot of coffee, a lot of coffees, like 7, 8 coffees every single. As you see, I am drinking a coffee right now also. And I said earlier, मेरे को पता नहीं था कि इसमें career path बन सकता है. There are courses, which is Indian Coffee Board. They run this course, but I was very sure that I want to be a little, what do you say, faster in my entire growth. So how did I get into this? Was very passionate, very passionate about coffee. My most important question and my tip to everybody will be your why should be strong as to why are you getting into it. So my why was, why is every coffee different? That is how I got involved in that. And how I reached over here, I think, as I said, there is no structure in this. There is no next step, 10th ke baad 12th and all. But I just kept asking questions to people. I kept asking questions to people who are in US, who are in Australia. You can literally now take up your phone and you can like ask people over there, right? That's how I started getting into coffee gradually, one step at a time. I knew that probably I'll have to work for 18, 20 hours. That is still happening. Probably I'll have to drink a lot of coffees and fail at a lot of things. And honestly, I love failing, to be honest, to be very honest. I love failing. But that's how actually, in short, I got into coffee. Like a lot of perseverance is what I would say. A lot of times people don't reply. A lot of times you would not get the right answers. And one thing I was pretty clear about was that I shouldn't be trusting Google blindly, because Google पे जो information काफी बार आता है, it's not something which is pure or 100%, right? So thank you for the question. Actually, I'll move a little picture and tell you one more incident. So back in 2018 or 2016, December 2016. So मुझे ये पता था कि मैं अभी रोस्टिंग कर रहा हूँ, मैं अभी कॉफी टेस्ट कर रहा हूँ, मैं अभी ब्रू भी कर रहा हूँ, मुझे समझ रहा है. बट मुझे ये नहीं पता कि कॉफी, where does it grow, how does it grow, what happens, and neither did I have a lot of budget, to be honest, to fly. So I did not have budget of even really flying or something like that. Or so flying की बात करो, चिकमंगलुरु जाना था मुझे, but I somehow got hold of budget and went there, and I went to the deep estates, coffee estates, to find out exactly what happens over there. My way of learning and understanding coffee, or any product for that matter, is till the time you don't know from the front to the end, or the entire integration, you will not be able to succeed in your field, is what my way of thinking is. So that's why I went to the estate, to the source. I just walked in the estate owners. I talked to them. They didn't know who I was, nothing. They some of them entertained me. Some of them said, you know what, please don't come next time. Say we don't want you to be here. All those things happen. But so long answer, of course, but then you have to be ready to go to all channels to understand कि कहाँ से कोई चीज आ रहा है, कैसे जा रहा है. You need to know, as an entrepreneur, you need to know each and every side of things. You cannot say this is not my forte, this is not my domain. That's not happening. You need to know. For example, if you're into a cloth industry, go to the place where the coffee, or where the cloth is getting made. You will get a better understanding. I don't know what will click. All right, go to the place where cloth is being printed, being made, being cut, to the point of sales and distribution. So that's actually how I got into coffee.
I actually have one question. I don't know whether it is good to ask you this question at this point.
Please do.
See, there could be certain chemical components in coffee, right, which are responsible for a peculiar taste that you get. So as a taster, have you ever come across any gadget that can manually check what's the composition and perhaps then can predict something about the taste of the coffee?
Okay. So in Japan, there is a technology that is getting made. They're developing something which can taste the food and taste the coffee as well. All right. Now, this is a very interesting question actually, because this is basically tech versus man. All right. This is literally like tech versus human. This question has been there in the coffee industry and food industry for a very long time. What I generally believe is tech should be there, which enhances your experience, but some things that cannot be measured by the tongue, can be measured by the tongue, it's a little difficult for the tech to do it. So there are some machines. There are some machines. One, they are super expensive. Second, they will be giving you the data only that you feed. So if let's say there is a new coffee that has come up, all right, I doubt would it be able to tell you that or not. Neither can I exactly tell you what all chemical components are there inside. Right? I am not a chemist or something that will tell you like, oh, taste karke, this has got more lactic acid or more all these things. That's not what I do. But yeah, there are a few machines. How much will it be involved in the food, in the tasting side of things? I am really doubtful. All right. I don't want to bite my tongue, honestly, later. Like, I hope it never happens. But I think if there is a tasting machine today over here, if that machine tastes, I'll still go for my tasting. And so I believe in the tongue tells and your nose knows. So that's what we say in the tasting. Sort of thing. I hope I've answered the question.
Yes, that makes sense. Actually, I have a follow-up question also.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
It is why I asked you this question is because there is a category of people, perhaps you might have heard about them. They are called as caffeine intolerant. They are not tolerant to
Yes.
caffeine. So,
Yes.
but they like coffee, meaning so the taste should not affect their metabolic status because of caffeine intolerance.
Yes.
So that is why the question was actually asked. So
Yes.
can we design something which is without caffeine or those components which lead to that intolerance, but have the same taste?
Absolutely. In fact, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you this in two parts actually. One, we already have got something like that, which is called decaffeinated. Decaf coffee is there for people who are caffeine intolerant, right? Basically, what happens in a decaf coffee is the green beans, the green small beans which are roasted, those green beans are basically at the estate level. From them, the caffeine is already taken out, right? So it is not 100% caffeine free. It is 98% caffeine free, but it's a huge number. So by adding a few chemicals and it going through a few processes, the caffeine in the coffee is not there, and we get a green bean which is called a decaffeinated coffee. Right? So that does not have caffeine, or to be safe enough to say, has 1% or 1.5% of the coffee, right? Caffeine. Second, now a lot of people are caffeine intolerant. Yes, agreed. They've got caffeine intolerance. The problem is that we are talking about, or the people who have had caffeine intolerance, they have had always instant coffee. Okay. Now I'll tell you what an instant coffee and a roasted coffee is. Instant coffee is also roasted, but it goes through a process by which there are a lot of chemicals that are added in that. It's freeze dried, and by which, you know, those particles are formed, which basically when you add it in the water, it gets dissolved. All right, that's the instant coffee. That's why we call it instant. Instant is basically dala gola ho gaya. We are not talking about instant coffee over here. We are talking about a specialty coffee, which is a roasted bean. So first of all, a green bean roasted, which is brown in color, which we have seen everywhere. That powdered. So I'll show you actually. I'm not sure if you can see this, but so is this a little bit visible? Yeah. So these are these coffee particles, which if I add in the water, it's not going to get dissolved. There is going to be something left. All right. So why I'm telling you this is that a lot of people that I've seen who say that I can't drink coffee, I'm really sorry because I'm in caffeine, this thing. They are majorly, I've seen they've got an intolerance towards the instant coffee. They get acidity, they get jittery feeling. Another thing is I don't consume coffee after the sunset. Whichever part of the world I am in, I don't consume coffee after the sunset because for me it affects my sleep cycle and kind of you need vitamin D to break the caffeine sort of a thing, right? So that said, try to consume a coffee which is freshly roasted, and that'll be a different thing. So the best way to explain this is you can probably eat 2 mangoes or maybe 3, 4. I can eat like 5 mangoes at a time actually, but you cannot have the pulp, right? The pulp is sweetened, it's all chemicals, it's like there are a lot of ingredients in that, the mango pulp. So instant coffee is the pulp, fresh roasted coffee is the mango. So whoever is intolerant towards that, I think can try out, because I've seen a lot of people who are now getting used to it.
That makes sense. One more thing I would like to add here. You talked about the decaffeinated form of coffee, but that also comes in an instant coffee format, and
Yes.
That too leads to again the same kind of a problem, and it doesn't actually taste like coffee, right? So
I mean, so you're saying basically instant coffee, decaf instant?
yeah.
So see, decaf instant, sure, there's no caffeine in that probably. But when you say instant, you are having a lot of other components in that. So that is there. So that also could be something which is, I would say, causing a little bit of problems.
Okay, there is a question from Abhishek Rai. I would like to ask him to unmute yourself and ask the question.
I just wanted to know what is the difference between coffee and chicory?
Yes. Thank you, Abhishek, for the question. Okay. So chicory is not exactly coffee. Chicory is basically a root of a plant, which when roasted and ground increases, it actually tastes almost like coffee, very bitter though, very, very bitter. And when added to coffee, the real coffee, it increases the volume, enhances the taste, and reduces the cost. So there's a small story that I would like to share why chicory became so famous. And I had read this somewhere, I don't remember exactly where it stated that when the war was going on, the people were in like really different state, right? They wanted to have more coffee. That kept them awake and positive and all. So the consumptions went up of coffee, but there was nobody at the factory to pick or roast or do all these things. Not nobody, there were lesser people. So the consumptions increased, the productions fell down, and that is when this chicory started coming in, where people said, hey, you know what, we've got something called chicory as a root. It does not take such a long time for it to be processed and got. Why don't we just roast it, grind it, and add it to the coffee? That is one of the stories that I've heard. So whenever you see 70-30 or 80-20 as a blend, the 80 is the Arabica coffee, 80 is the real coffee, and 20 or 30, whatever that thing is the chicory component of it. And also legally, you're not allowed to put more than 40%, 44%, if I'm not wrong, something 44% more chicory in a blend. That's one of the laws that was strange for me, but makes sense because it's very, very bitter. So that's the difference between a coffee and chicory. I think there's one more question.
Yeah, Abhishek had one more question.
Okay.
Abhishek, can you ask that question again?
So I got the answer.
Yeah, there is one more question from Anil, I believe. Anil, would you like to ask the question? Okay, I will ask the question. You can already see it in the chat box. But for everyone's comfort, I will ask it. What is animal extract coffee?
Okay.
That's the question.
So yeah, I was expecting that question actually. These 3-4 questions are like usually they come up. Now, animals extract coffee is basically called a kopi luwak. So that is basically what etymologically what used to happen was these small civet cats, all right, they used to go to these coffee plantation farms and all. They used to go to the trees and they used to eat the ripest red cherry, all right. Their food was the ripest coffee cherry. Coffee is basically a cherry. It's a fruit. So the animal used to eat the coffee cherry and their digestive tract could not digest the beans, the green beans inside, all right. So etymologically, they used to go to these farms and they used to eat this and then they used to poop and then that used to like basically be, I don't know who did that, but it's very, very much Indonesian and Bali sort of a thing. They used to clean it, wash it, and then they used to roast it and they used to drink it. Sadly, so now what has happened is after a few movies started highlighting that there are these small cages made, small tiny cages made, just this big. And you know where I'm going now. So these animals are basically forced fed these coffee cherries. If we as humans are also force fed coffee cherries, you know what the result is going to be. So that's nothing big. So these animals are force fed those coffee cherries and they're kept in those small cages. They just do that every single day. It has harmed the animal life cycle. It's gone beyond control, and we condemn that entirely. We in fact received as a gesture. A lot of people, send us like, hey, you know what? We went to Indonesia. We thought about you. We got you the kopi luwak. Unfortunately, I turned that down because that does not fit in our system, and it's pretty much unethical and pretty sad. If you see those cages, you can Google it up. Unethical kopi luwak breeding. It's really sad. It's really sad. So, but yeah, that's what the animal poop coffee is about. And adding to that, in Kerala, India, they started something called elephant poop coffee. So the elephants start eating coffee, cherries, and then their poop is there. And then I haven't tasted it. Please don't ask that next question.
There are two more questions. Dr. Pratima Lokhande has one. Madam, you can turn on your mic and ask the question directly.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Sir, I would like to ask, is there any therapy which is attached with coffee? I have heard about aroma therapy. So how you are going to introduce it through your endeavor?
Yeah. You said aroma therapy, sorry?
Yes, aroma therapy. Yeah.
All right. So thank you for the question, ma'am. So what happens is like once this coffee is brewed, all right, there's that extract that is left, all right. Instant coffee to dissolve ho jata hai. Isme there will be some residue, there will be a lot of residue actually left. That what we do is we usually dry it out and we have a collaboration with a few people who are using it in scrubs, who are using it in a lot of what do you say, not pharmaceutical, body scrubs and facials, that segment, all right. There are a lot of people who are using it as a manure as well. So these are two uses of the coffee that you can do. When you're talking about the aroma therapy, I'm not entirely sure exactly what aroma therapy would be, but there are a lot of people, a lot of spas, organic spas, who are using organic roasted coffees, and we are shipping them the the residue, and they're using in their oils, they're using in their soap, they're using in the shampoos, and also the massages and masseuse and everything. I think, and they are getting good results. Now, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a what do you say, a chemical person. So I don't know what exactly happens. But whatever the results are, they are telling, they seem to be like having a good experience. Does that answer your question a little bit?
Yes, sir. But I would like to ask you about the medicinal value of that coffee when you are introducing it. to adults or teenagers?
Sorry.
I would like to know about the medicinal value of that coffee.
Okay.
Hmm.
I don't think so. I would be the right person to say that because
Okay.
I kind of stay away from the medical questions of it, because a lot of times I'll tell you something.
Mhm.
So we are visited by a lot of doctors, a lot of doctor families and friends and all. So they come up and they said like, hey, you know what? Why don't you give a session on coffee to the doctors? And I'm like, look, I would love to do that. But when it comes to the questions of the science and medical and all these things, uh, I'm not the right person for sure, because how much ever I research, I'll never have the right answer to give. So I kind of stay away from that. Apologies for that.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, sir, could I just intervene to make a comment? I don't really have a question, so to say, but I surely want to congratulate you for the massive brand building that you have done of C7 out here. Because being a parent of two young girls, I know how much the young crowd is really crazy about getting to C7. So you probably may not have an idea, but Corridor 7 is the subject of a fight between me and my daughters very often. So congratulations to you for your success story.
Oh God, I'm so humbled. It is so good to hear from you. Thank you so much for saying that. And when you said C7, I think that is what we are known for. More than Corridor 7 coffee roasters, we are known for C7. So yeah, thank you so much. It means a lot.
Thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you so much. I hope to see you someday. I hope to see everybody someday and Rosie someday.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There is one more question in the chat box if you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, which brand you suggest for daily drinking? Without a doubt, Corridor 7, I would say, without a blink of an eye.
And about the question from Vinay Joshi.
Yes. So do you see C7 and CR, like I think is the same brand what you're talking about, in upcoming year in masses or to particular segment of people? Fantastic question. Now I'll tell you something. C7 is an all-inclusive brand. All right. We are not. If you ask me a question that, and that is already happening. If you ask me, like my brand people ask me, like, what is your market segment? What is your target audience? Honestly, we are not targeting any sort of audience that, okay, we want an engineer crowd or we want an IT crowd, or we're not that. We are just all inclusive. We want to keep all our coffee shops, whichever we open, amen to that in the next few years and upcoming years. We want to keep that all inclusive, where basically you won't be coming there for a transaction, you'll be coming there for a conversation. And if you want to say that, is it for masses or particular segment of people? Genuinely, I don't have a differentiating factor for that, because you will see at Corridor, you will see like grandparents being there. You will see people from different walks of life. We've got in the morning, you started getting a lot of lawyers who come over there. So I don't want to have that target. I don't know. That's just not what Corridor 7 does. It's a very different way of approaching, I know, because going ahead, there will be these questions coming up, like if you want to, if there are investors involved, so they will be asking the question that, okay, what is your market? What is your target audience? So that question is like a complete cross for me, to be honest, so far, because we want everybody to experience what we are doing. We are not at all going to be like a segment. So masses or otherwise, not really focus on that. Yeah, I think we got. So I hope when I answer the question, if there is a follow-up question, I'm more than happy to answer.
Abhishek has one question.
Just wanted to know who are your main competitors in Nagpur market?
Yes. So I may sound a little bit, I don't know, too much of myself or my brand, but this was asked to me back in 2018 also by somebody who was I would love to say hi to him tonight. But he's basically a traveler and he keeps traveling, and he had come down to the cafe and he'd asked me the same question that, so who are your competitors? And without a blink of an eye, I answered my second cafe is going to be my competitor. So for me, my competitor is my second cafe, my competitor is my third cafe, my competitor is my fourth cafe. That's how I take it. For me, other cafes, other brands that are coming into the city, other brands that are opening up in the city, as a matter of fact, we are consulting them. As a matter of fact, we are helping them sourcing the best of the equipments. We are roasting for them. So what I believe in is bigger. Sorry. Yeah. So I believe in bigger the market, more everybody will make. So for me, I am not looking at it as a competition. So for me, my Dharampet outlet is a competition with the Verdi outlet. And no, I'm not managing your question. That is what I genuinely feel.
Yes, I just wanted to know the names.
Yeah, that's Corridor 7 and Corridor 7.
Great.
Okay, so I think there was one more question. Yeah. So what is the plan for masses? Because you're changing definition of coffee here. See, as I said, to be honest, we've made the coffee. So if you come to Corridor, by the way, if you come to Corridor 7 whenever rather, sorry for that, whenever you come to Corridor 7, you will not be asked to order something. That's not the plan. You can sit there not ordering anything for hours and hours, days and days, not an issue at all. We will but make sure that you take the entire roastery tour, you see the entire process of coffee, what we do. So more than that, more than bifurcating between masses or not masses, we want to keep it very educative, and educative side of things cannot be really a spectrum oriented thing is what I feel. So that's what our plan is, that we want to educate more about what coffee is rather than just a transaction. Hey, you know what, just take this coffee and go. So that's why we've kept our roastery entirely transparent. We've kept it entirely open over there, where you can walk in, where you can see. So that's how I think education is going to be making it more approachable for everybody. I hope I've answered that question, Mr. Vinay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. There's another comment which is request you to share address of shop, Daga layout. So, okay, that is not a shop. We did a pop-up over there where we basically raised funds for the shelter home. It's right opposite to Daga layout. I will share the address. I'll share the address with you guys, and I'll let you know after the talk. So it's not a coffee shop. That's what I wanted to say.
So Abhishek is again asking that how does social media influencer help you in growing your business?
Great. So we don't go onto the social media with influencer marketing. We haven't yet gone so far with that. And one of the things that I feel about influencer marketing is like, how do I put it? It's a flash in a pan for some days, right? It's a flash in a pan for some days, for sure. One thing that I was very sure about when I was opening a business in Nagpur was I will take my sweet own time to build the brand and not focus on sales, right? So for the first 2.5 years, I did not take out a single penny of the business. We're just putting it back again and again. The reason I tell you this is because I wanted a curve or a graph that is going like this. I didn't want a graph that goes like this. Usually with the social media marketing, influencer marketing, what happens is for a few hours or days, your graph goes up. There are a lot of people who come in, and then it goes down. So I would say more than the influencer marketing, your guests who walk in should be your should be your family kind of a thing, who talk about your brand, who fight with their parents about the brand at home, or who your guests are your what do you say, social media is what I genuinely believe in. If you go to give a good service, if you go to give a good product, if you go give everything that is there, I think that's more than enough.
Okay, did you ever go for doing fundraise for yourself in the sense, are there any other investors in your business?
No, not yet. Not yet. There are no investors in the business right now.
So it is,
But
you mean to say that it's completely bootstrapped at the moment, right?
yes, it is. It is. And my sense of achievement in the bootstrap thing was the COVID duration. It was really bad. It was just not a pleasant time. But look, because of badminton, with the kind of approach your sports gives you, with the angle sports give you, you win some, you lose some, sort of a thing, and you got to be fighting about it. I think that I applied at the business also. I mean, I'm probably calling it business for the first time in my life, but I'm applying it to quarter 7 also, that you have to fight it out. If there are challenges, I love it. And if it's the same simple day, it's just too boring. It's just too boring. So that's why bootstrapping is super challenging. And I'll tell you again, I'll come to the point that money is not going to be the problem. And it's not because it's me. Trust me, I did not have money. I did not pick up any money whatsoever. I was in 2015. I didn't tell you this, by the way, everybody, that 2014 December, I tore my calf muscle. I tore my ankle ligament. I had a surgery in my back. It was almost cancer. And I was really in a really bad state of affairs. I had no career. I had no money, nothing. So for me, that bad state, I've seen that, money will not solve anything. It may till a limit for sure. People say that it's better to cry in a Mercedes rather than to cry on the street, something that fine, argumentative over there. But why I'm telling you this is because bootstrapping has got its own challenges, charm, and you cherish it a lot. Once it starts getting into a business mode, then it is like, the equity, all these things start picking up. Formation of the company, do you want it a parent or holding, or all those things come up.
Do you mean to say that you are never going to eye for a bigger venture, or
No, so
you
it's not
like
like
it
that.
slow and steady?
I genuinely like slow and steady, and I don't like a graph that goes up too high. So even if you ask my team, at times I get baffled and irritated if the sales go super high. So I am not really happy with that, because uh, that is not your top line. I mean, that is not going to be like, it's a temporary thing. Why did that happen is important for me. What did we do right? What was the market spectrum that time? All those things. So I'm not going to say never. I mean, I say never, but I definitely more than more than money, it is important to have, I would say, resources. That's and resources do come with better money for sure. Like I was giving a talk at IIM last year, or just before COVID, and over there also somebody asked, like, why don't you go for investments right now, so that you get better, more, not better, but more people who have experience in the industry or something like that. So my answer over there and that day and even today is that I come from a belief that till the time I have not uh, tried understanding all the sides of the business, just tried, I'm not saying being an expert, I can't be, but if I have not tried with my point of view, then I would rather wait for it and then build it up. That's how. So there are a lot of people who are ready to partner with us, ready to do business with us, and I'm really humbled with that, to be honest. In fact, there are a few people from Abu Dhabi and Malaysia who are, no, Malaysia, I think Vietnam, who are going to come down next month, or next month, August. So let's see how that goes.
Nice. Are there any more questions? I don't see any. One thing for sure, that your talk was so much well taken that you actually had to divert yourself into question and answer session rather than talking about your own journey. You hardly completed that story, right? But
Yeah.
people were more than willing to get their questions across to you and get the things out from you. So ultimately, I believe that although the mode was slightly different, people must have understood that what type of journey you might have gone through in order to reach to the level where you are at present. So I can say all the best to your brand. And one more point that I would like to add here is that see, many times an entrepreneur is normally vouching for money most of the times, but here I have come across you as an entrepreneur who is actually trying to build up his brand first, establish himself first as what you can say, as a breakthrough in the market of coffee, and ultimately it will rise up to the level where people will start to love the brand. I'm sure about it. So with this passion, I believe this, that the students should also take this message with them, that if you believe in your dream, then it's no one that can stop you, and you can always build up upon that, no matter how many obstacles you are going to get, but you are going to learn from all those setbacks that you are going to get. So many of the times I get students who are quite ambitious about developing or their idea and getting up into a large scale business. But I believe that the way you are doing it, it's completely different. Because ultimately everyone believes that brand building is going to mint money for them. But here there is something which is put up in a completely different way. So thank you so much, Mithilesh sir, for giving this very what you can say heart-to-heart talk, and I'm sure that every participant must have got something, some kind of takeaway from the talk that you have given, and that obviously in one way has spoken up in terms of the questions, the number of questions that came up to your side. So thank you so much for this talk, and if possible, try and visit our college once, so that our students would like to have a direct interaction with you. So we can plan that in coming days, and I'm sure not only students, our faculty members are also quite meaning blown away with your brand. So
I would love to. In fact, honestly, so since I was pursuing CA and I did not go to the college, so I don't know what college life is all about. So I used to go for admissions and then for felicitations. So I haven't seen a college classroom, to be very honest. So I would love to visit the college, and it'll be just great. It'll be great to see you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Mithilesh sir. And
so
and for all the participants who are interested in getting a certificate, I'm posting a feedback link here. So please go to the feedback form, fill in the feedback form, and you will get your participation certificate delivered on your email ID. So thank you so much. I believe that everyone must have enjoyed interaction with Mithilesh sir as well as with Preeti madam. And I would like you to tell you, sir, as well as Preeti madam, that kindly, as a reply to my mail, send in your bank details so that we can process your remuneration as well. Okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, to have me. And
Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.